A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Five bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention! All districts, a 5-alarm fire. 5 bells, move in immediately.
That's it. Let's roll. Let's go. Firefighters! Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a minute, we'll drop in at fire station headquarters where Tim Collins and his young brother Jimmy are looking over the display of articles Jimmy and the rest of the junior firefighters have gathered for the Firefighters Antique Sale. Chief Cody has let the boys store and display the antiques at headquarters station until the sale, and today Jimmy is showing his big brother the collection, neither of them realizing that they are suddenly to have their attention switched from antiques to a baffling mystery. We'll learn more about it just as soon as we hear this important message. Let's go, firefighters! Let's go to headquarters station where Tim Collins, on his day off, is being shown the accumulated treasure of antiques which are on display at the fire station, waiting the junior firefighter sale. His guide on this conducted tour is his young brother Jimmy. Although they don't realize it at the moment, they're about to be jolted out of this innocent pastime by one of the most incredible mysteries the fire department has ever known. But right now, Jimmy is saying to Tim,
and over in this corner, we have...
weighing 27.5 pounds, wearing a purple shade, a fine Victorian table lamp.
All right, so you're feeling good because this is your day off. But can't you let me show you the swell collection of antiques?
Well, sure, Jimmy. I think they're fine. You kids have done a great job rounding up all these broken down pieces of furniture.
Aw, there you go again. They're not broken down, they're antiques. And the junior firefighters stand to make a nice profit when we sell them.
I know it, Jimmy. I'm just kidding you. I know a lot of them are valuable, too. I ought to, after the business with that jade snuff box.
Yeah, whoever would have thought that was worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Was Mrs. Wilcox glad to get it back?
Oh, she was tickled to death. She even cried a little. I guess she can really use the money.
Yeah, it is a nice thing to have around. Jimmy, where's the chief, I wonder? I just noticed his car's out.
He's out on the fire, probably. Which reminds me, something's been bothering the chief lately. He looks worried.
Yeah? Well, I hadn't particularly noticed. Are you sure?
Well, something's wrong, I know. The last few days while I've been working around here getting ready for the sale, I've noticed it. He isn't his usual cheery self at all.
Oh, well, he works pretty hard. Maybe...
Oh, here comes the chief now.
Yeah.
You take a close look and see if you don't think there's something wrong.
All right. Hello, Chief.
Hello, Tim, Jimmy. What are you doing down at headquarters, Tim? Isn't your duty rescue?
Oh, of course, sir, but this is my day off, and I was just looking over Jimmy's antique.
When I get a day off, I get away from firehouses. Clear out, get a change.
Well, I do, too, Chief. Say, do you mean you don't want me around headquarters?
Oh, of course, Tim, don't mind me. I'm afraid I'm not myself these last few days. You're always welcome around here, and you know it.
Oh, well, thanks, sir. I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling well.
Oh, my health's all right. Nothing wrong with that. It's just... Well, I might as well tell you, Tim, I'm baffled.
Yes, sir. What seems to be the trouble?
Baffled and worried. During the last 3 days, Tim, there have been 3 fires. All of them origin unknown.
Oh, gee, that is a little unusual, isn't it? Usually there's some clue as to the cause. Isn't that right, Chief?
Yeah, most every fire has a known origin, or if it's not exactly known, you can deduce how it probably started.
Yes, sir. And these 3?
Not a whisper of a clue, not even a hint.
Huh.
To add to the mystery, today, just now, I've come from another fire. Origin unknown.
Oh, gosh, weren't there any witnesses or anybody who might have seen something?
Not a person. This last was in the bedroom. Whole room ablaze when we got there. Woman of the house in the basement. No open fires, no electrical appliances on, nothing.
And that's the cause of your feeling out of sorts, huh?
It's got me plain buffaloed, Tim. Never saw anything like this before. 4 completely baffling and mysterious fires.
Well, Chief, could it be an arsonist?
I'm beginning to think so, Tim. Although there's none of the usual characteristics of a firebug's work around these blazes. It just seems to spring up like magic. Why, in this last...
Uh-oh, another one in your district, Chief.
Yeah, Cherry Hill section.
Yes, sir.
Let's roll! You want to go along for a ride, you Collinses?
Gee, could we, Chief?
Sure, hop in my car. And I just hope that this call is a nice, uncomplicated brush fire set by some thoughtless old woman.
Rolling to the Cherry Hill section, the chief lets the big car nose its way easily through the traffic, all the time thinking not of the fire he's riding to, but of the 4 unexplained mystery fires that are beginning to haunt him like a bad dream. As he pulls up to a small one-family house in the residential district, the engine company already has a ladder up to a back porch roof, which is a massive flame.
Gee, this is quite a blaze, huh, Chief?
Yeah, but the boys will have it under control. It's just a roof fire. Better get a ladder up on the other side, too.
Yes, sir. She could be a quick burner, an old frame house like that, but luckily she didn't get much of a start.
Yeah, they'll knock her down in no time.
Yes, sir.
Get a charge in that line there.
Oh, here comes water, Chief. Oh, boy, it makes me itch to get in there, seeing the old stream hit that blaze.
Want to get back to an engine company, Tim?
Well, sir, I like rescue fine, but
you're an engine man at heart. I know. So was your father, Ben. Well, looks like that about does it.
Yes, sir. Boys really licked that one in a hurry.
Now, let's take a look and see if we can find the cause.
Uh-huh.
And if this one is origin unknown, I'll be ready to turn in my helmet.
Well, the chief is really disturbed about this strange series of mystery fires. Almost seems to expect another even before he makes an investigation. As the engine company overhauls, the chief carefully looks over the remains of the half-burned roof. He questions Mrs. Tuffer, the owner of the house, interviews neighbors next door, and then returns to the fire, pokes around among the charred shingles and boards, and finally climbs down the ladder and walks over to Tim and Jimmy, who have been watching the investigation.
Oh, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, you mean, Chief?
Not a trace of a cause. Just as bewildering and unexplainable as the other 4.
Well, couldn't the woman who owns the house tell you anything?
Not a thing. She insists there was no fire in the furnace, no one in the upper rooms who could have tossed out a cigarette, no incinerators burning nearby, no sign of a short circuit. I tell you, this thing is getting me down.
Well, there must be some reasonable explanation. Oh, what about your firebug theory, Chief?
Well, it may be, but still it doesn't look right for an arsonist job. As I told you before, there's usually a familiar pattern that comes out in a series of fires set by the same person.
Yes, sir. You mean he leaves certain trademarks, certain...
That's right. Usually a firebug will use some means to start his fires.
Uh-huh.
Usually leaves some evidence sooner or later. Oil can, piece of greasy rag.
Oh, what does the arson squad say? Have they investigated these other fires?
Yeah, thoroughly. And they're baffled, too.
But something is causing them. A fire doesn't just suddenly appear from nowhere.
You're right, my boy. And I'd give a fur-trimmed fireboot to solve this riddle. In all my years, I've never run up against anything.
Chief.
Yes, Tim.
Sir, I know this is a crazy idea,
Well,
but...
spill it, son.
Well, sir, I think I could find out what or who is causing these fires, sir.
You, Tim?
Yes, sir.
Arson squad's been on the case for days and hasn't turned up a thing. Why do you think that...
I don't know, sir, but I feel there must be something. Some small detail or clue that's been overlooked. And if you'd let me...
Well, maybe it's not such a bad idea. Maybe that's what's needed, a fresh viewpoint, a brand new approach. What do you say, Jimmy? You think your big brother would make a good fire detective?
Well, he's pretty good at ferreting out where I hide my candy at home.
Yeah, I believe it's worth a try. Tim, as of today, you are detached from rescue company for temporary duty as special investigator, reporting to me.
Oh, that suits me fine, Chief. Thanks.
And I'll be thanking you if you can solve the mystery of this strange series of unexplained fires.
Well, I wonder if Tim has bitten off more than he can chew when he volunteered to play fire detective and try to crack the case of the mysterious fires. It's a pretty challenging assignment, one that could lead him and Jimmy into all kinds of adventures. Now, to learn what happens when he tries to track down the clues to the Tupper and Riley fires, Be sure to listen to the next true-to-life episode of The Firefighters. Now, in just a moment, Chief Bob Cody will tell you, boys and girls, just how you can help the firefighters in your own hometown. But right now, let's listen to this message. And now, boys and girls, here's Chief Bob Cody with a very special notice for all of you in the Firefighters Brigade. Chief Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. Most of you know already how to report a fire, but it bears repeating. Now, here are 3 important things you should do now before a fire. First, learn the location of the nearest fire alarm box. 2, know how to turn in an alarm by telephone. 3, keep the fire department telephone number posted in plain sight next to your phone. Well, that's all for now. Till I drop in next time, so long.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman Tim Collins will be back on the same station the next time you hear... That's it. Let's roll! Let's go! Firefighters!
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Exhibit A, Lucky Strike, in a cigarette. It's the tobacco that counts. And today, tomorrow, always. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. American. Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Mr. Herbert Highsmith, veteran independent tobacco buyer of Robertsonville, North Carolina, has handled tobacco all his life. Recently, he said,
season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy quality tobacco. Fine tobacco with real flavor. Smooth, ripe, and mild. So for myself, I pick Lucky's. Smoked them for 15 years.
At auction after auction, independent tobacco experts like Mr. Highsmith can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Remember, LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco means real, deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, last Friday, October 21st, was Halloween. And people young and old all over the nation were bobbing for apples.
Yes, sir.
So now we bring you a man whose gums are so tender, he had to bob for applesauce, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking, and Don... Don, that was a very funny introduction. Bobbing for applesauce. You know, it's certainly clever. I mean, the way you expose all my faults and defects. Yeah.
People enjoy it, too.
Yes, they do. You know, Don, there's a man in Pomona who gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, looks at a thermometer, and then broadcasts frost warnings.
I know.
Well, one more introduction like that, and you'll be his master of ceremony. And incidentally, Halloween is on the 31st, not the 21st. In other words...
Oh, Jack, Don didn't mean any harm. He was just trying to get a little laugh, that's all.
Mary, we want big laughs on this show. If Don has any little laugh, let him ship them east to Fred Allen. And speaking of Halloween, Alan looks like he went bobbing for oranges and got a smudge pot caught under each eye. He uses them to warm up the audience, you know.
Say, Jack, is Fred Allen older than you are?
Is he older? Mary. This is cruel, but I've got to tell it. So this is awful, but I must ask me again, Mary. Go ahead.
All right. Is Fred Allen older than you are?
Is he older? Mary, Allen died in 1896. What you hear on Sundays are transcriptions. I wonder how he gets those transcriptions up here. But getting back to Halloween, Don, what did you do last Friday night? You have any fun?
Oh, I had a wonderful time, Jack. I went to a masquerade party.
Really? What did you go as?
I let a chain drag from the back of my belt and went as a gasoline truck.
Well, that's logical. Don always thinks of something unique, doesn't he, Mary?
Yeah, I remember last Halloween he painted lines across his back and went as a football field.
It was a good illusion, except that the field spread out too much around the 10-yard line. But everybody has fun on Halloween, especially the kids.
Say, Jack, did you find out who put that sign up in front of your house?
No, I didn't.
What was that, Mary?
Somebody took a chop suey sign off a Chinese restaurant and nailed it over Jack's front door.
Mary.
The chop suey sign, huh? Was Jack mad?
No, he just put a kimono on Rochester and went into business.
Oh, I just did that for a gag. But I had a lot of fun Friday night, too, Don. You know, I went to a Halloween party in Beverly Hills, and I met the most wonderful girl. And she was so cute. You know, she came dressed as Little Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep. That's a cute costume.
What did you wear, Jack?
Well, I didn't know I was going till the last minute, so I just wore an old costume I found up in the attic. But, kids, I got to tell you about this girl. She wore a little black mask that seemed to... Oh, I don't know. She was just wonderful. Now, I really went nuts about her.
Well, I never heard you talk like this before.
I can't help it. When she came through the door, I looked at her, and she looked at me, and I could just feel something run up and down my spine. Mary, you know what that means.
Your costume was up in the attic longer than you thought it was.
I'm serious, Mary. No, I'm serious. This girl didn't say much, but as we were dancing, she would look into my eyes and call me Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
Yeah. And I called her Little Bo Peep. She was really the
Mr. Benny, after the program is over, do you mind if I...
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello. Mr. Benny, after the program is over, do you mind if I...
Did you just get in?
Yeah. Mr. Benny, after the program is over, do you mind if I...
How do you feel, kid?
Fine.
That's good.
I had double pneumonia this morning, but I'm all right now.
Dennis, stop being silly. If you had double pneumonia this morning, how could you come to the studio? Did you take penicillin?
No, I took the Sunset bus.
Now, cut that out. Look, kid, all you had was a slight cold, that's all. How did you catch it?
Well, on Halloween, I wanted to play a trick on my father, so I put a pail of ice water over the door, so when he opened it, the water would fall on his head.
But you put the ice water up there for your father. How did you catch the cold?
Testing.
Oh.
It worked every time.
Well, look, Dennis. Look, Dennis, if I'd have known you were going to stay at home on Halloween, I would have taken you to a masquerade party at the Beverly Hills Club.
Oh, I was supposed to go to that party with Phil, but my folks wouldn't let me, so Phil went alone.
Phil was there? See, that's funny. I didn't see him. What was he dressed as?
Little Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep? Phil!
Kiss me, Pumpkin.
No wonder he wouldn't take off his mask.
Phil, you mean Jack danced with you all evening?
Not only that, Livy, he even asked me if he could drive me home.
No.
Yeah. Say, Livy, have you ever seen the lights of the city from Mulholland Drive?
I can't understand it. How could he shade so close?
Phil, I think you carried it too far. Why didn't you tell Jack who you were?
What, and spoil an old man's evening?
All right, Phil, look, you fooled me. You had your little joke. Now let's forget it.
Forget it nothing. I want them nylons you promised me. Alice can use them.
Look, you're not getting those nylons. And I'm not putting you in pictures either. Now, look, we've got a show to do, so...
Hey, Jackson. Come here a minute.
Phil, we've got to get on with the show.
I know, all right, but come here just a minute. I want to ask you something.
Oh, all right. What is it?
Look at me.
Huh?
Do my eyes still twinkle like two stars in the summer sky?
Oh, boy, do you fall for everything you hear? I really put one over on you, Bud. Now, go ahead, Phil. Pick up that stick and let's have a band number.
Okay, Pumpkin.
Never mind. But I still can't understand how he could shave so close. That was the lady from 29 Palms, played by Little Schmo Pete and his orchestra. Well, as long as we're happy, that's all. But I still can't get over how he fooled me. You know, I should have known it was Phil when he stopped at every house, knocked on the door, and said, trick or drink.
Well, Jack, it's your own fault. You fall in love with every girl you meet, and then you do the silliest thing.
I do not.
Tell the fellas what happened when I introduced you to that girl in New York.
Mary.
What happened, Mary?
Well, Jack went up to her apartment, turned the lights down low, put one arm around her waist, and whispered, "Darling, I want you to have something to remember me by."
Mary.
Then he took off his toupee, pulled out 3 hairs, and stuck them in her locket.
Well, that just shows how much I thought of her. Anybody else could grow them back. Me, it cost $30. Now, look, kids, we've got an important play to do tonight. It's very important, so let's get on with it. Go ahead, Don, with the introduction.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we're going to present our version of that stirring, thrilling Warner Brothers production, Dark Passage. The story concerns an unfortunate man who is serving a life term in the state penitentiary for murder. But wait, why should I tell his story? Let him tell it.
My name is Humphrey Benny. I was serving a life sentence for the murder of my wife. It wasn't intentional murder. One night when she went to bed, I turned the electric blanket up too high. They never would have caught me if I hadn't put that apple in her mouth. Next thing I knew, I was in cell 13 in the state prison. I remember my first meeting with my cellmate. I asked him how long he'd been there. And he said,
I've been in this prison for nigh on to 20 years.
What are you in for, Curly?
Arson.
Arson?
Yeah, I signed some other guy's name to a check.
Wait a minute, that's not arson.
Sure it is. I signed it Arson Wells. Oh, Curly, you may not have a spoon, but you're sure stir crazy.
Say, what are you in for?
Murder.
Murder?
Yes, my wife. I was married to her for 1 year, and then I killed her. Here's her picture.
What took you so long?
I couldn't face it. Tell me, Curly, what kind of clink is this anyway?
It's not too bad as long as you don't break the rules. But last year they threw me in solitary confinement.
Solitary?
Yes. For 2 long months they kept me in a cell all by myself. 60 days I was in there all alone. Alone.
Gee, that must have been awful.
No, I'm crazy about myself.
What?
If I hadn't had a mirror, I would have gone nuts.
Well, this jail could be worse. Hey, wait a minute. Why did the lights turn dim?
They're testing the electric chair. Slugger Wilson goes in there in a few minutes. Look, here comes the guards with him now. So long, Slugger.
So long, Curly.
Now hold still, Wilson, while we strap you in.
There.
Now, guard, get ready to throw the switch.
No. Please don't. Please.
Throw the switch.
Cut it out. Cut it out. That tickles. Yeah. Oh, that tickles, I tell you.
Wilson, it'll be easier for you if you stop squirming. Now stop squirming. Oh, darn it. That's the third Terry broke this week.
Gee, Curly, I thought Slugger Wilson was supposed to go to the chair in June. Here it is November.
Took him 4 months to eat his last meal.
Oh. Hey, what's that?
Some guys in the next cell. They sing all the time.
Why do they always have such good singers in prison? I hate that stuff.
Me too.
Oh, we wish we had someone to love us. We'd be happy as happy could be. We want someone to take us out of prison or send us an LSMS.
They're round and so firm and so fully packed like the things we used to crack. Ask the man who knows where the best tobacco grows. That's why we light up a Lucky. Listen to Effie Boom. There's a man can chat a tune. Best cigarette we ever smoked.
Hey, Curly, do they do that all the time?
Yeah, all the time. Hey, fellas, will you shut up?
Fully packed. Stop it, fellas. You used to crack. Stop it. And so stop it. Stop. Ask the man.
Stop it!
Thanks, Curly. You know, Say, who's that guy coming down the corridor?
Huh? Oh, him?
Yeah.
He's a playwright trying to get some atmosphere for a prison play.
Let me see. See, I know him. That's Norman Krasner. He'll be heartbroken to see me here in prison. Hey, Norman! Look where I am! Gee, what a sense of humor. Well, I better shave. Hey, Curly, where's the hot water?
Are you kidding? Ain't no hot water in this cell.
What? No hot water? Well, I ain't going to stay in a jail like this. Hey, guard! Guard, take me to the wharf! Take me to the wharf!
So the guard took me to the warden. I'll never forget that harrowing walk down the long, long corridor. As I passed the condemned cells, the guard said,
Poor devils, they're doomed.
as I passed the solitary cells, the guard said,
Poor devils, they'll go crazy.
as I passed the women's cells, the guard said, as I passed the work cell, I stopped and went back for the guard. Finally, we reached the warden's office. The guard told me to go in myself. I opened the door, and I faced the kindly old gentleman sitting behind the big desk, and said,
A warden? Warden?
Yes?
What kind of a prison is this, anyway? What kind of cells have you got here? No hot water, no mattresses on the bunk. And our television set doesn't work either. And the food is bad, too.
Really? What did you have for dinner last night?
Well, let me see. We started with soup.
Your entree?
Hash.
Your dessert?
Pudding.
Your age?
38. Now, look, Warden, I ain't going to stand for this kind of treatment, see?
You'll stand for it and like it. Now go back to your cell.
I won't go back to my cell. Either let me out of here or send me to the electric chair. Do you hear me? Send me to the electric chair.
I'd love to, but our light bill's too high now.
What?
Now get back to your cell and stay there.
I went back to my cell determined to escape. I planned, I schemed. And after 7 long years, I got my chance. A parole came through for number 60734. That was Curly's number. So that night, I knocked him on the head. And changed numbers with him. It worked. They took me to the gate, gave me a new suit of clothes, and a $5 bill. Then they handed me a tube of Bubaloon and told me to blow. When I left, I was frightened, confused. Things on the outside were in terrible shape. Financial instability, political unrest, and worst of all, they were wearing them long. There was nowhere to go, nothing to see. I was trudging the lonesome road from the jail toward the city when a car stopped beside me, and a voice said,
"Want a lift to the town, big boy?"
I stood there staring for a minute. I couldn't speak. I just couldn't speak. Suddenly it happened. My Bubaloon busted.
That's better. I can see your face now. Hop in the car, Blue Eyes, and I'll take you to town.
Okay, Miss...
Bacall, but you can call me Lauren.
Lauren?
If you don't feel like calling, just whistle. Hop in. You've been in prison, haven't you?
Yeah. How did you know?
I saw the picture.
Oh. You know, it's swell driving along, sitting next to you. I've been in prison so long I've forgotten what girls look like. That glorious fragrance. That lovely odor. What is it?
Gasoline, my tag plate. Now, where would you like me to take you?
I don't know. This time of the night. It's too late for the Palladium and too early for breakfast at Brenneman's. I don't know where to go.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can ride up to the top of Mulholland Drive and park.
No, thanks. I was up there on Halloween. Now, look, Lauren, I'm in trouble, see? I just broke out of prison, and they'll be looking for me in a few hours.
Well, if that's your problem, I know a plastic surgeon who can change your face and nobody will recognize you.
Say, that's... No, why should I go to the trouble of having my face changed? They might catch me anyway.
You'll still be ahead.
Okay, I'll try it. Then I'll pull a couple of jobs that'll make me rich. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I don't get your angle, big boy. Have you ever thought of going straight? You know, I kind of like you. You ever thought of getting married?
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'd like to get married. Settle down in a vine-covered cottage with a wife and have 10 or 12 children.
Get out, mister. This is as far as we go.
Huh? What?
Well, this is where that plastic surgeon has his office.
Good. Let's go in.
The doctor's office was on the second floor. I followed her up the stairs. She was wearing them long, too. We walked down the hall. I began to feel frightened, nervous, afraid. Lauren sensed how I felt and walked over to encourage me. She kissed me. When I came to, I was in the doctor's office. He was feeling my pulse with one hand and my wallet with the other. Finally, he said,
Mr. Benny, as long as I'm going to change your face, who do you want to look like?
I don't know. I just don't want to be recognized.
Well, I can make you look like a young man or an old man. Or if you really want to disguise yourself, I can put some glass in the back of your head and make you look like a Studebaker.
No, the windshield wipers would drive me nuts. But then, if you think looking like a Studebaker would do the trick, go ahead.
Very well, I'll call my assistant. Oh, Dr. McNulty.
Here I am, Doctor. Shall I... Gosh, you sure lost up this guy's face.
He hasn't started yet. Now, look, I'm in a hurry. Let's get on with the operation.
Very well, I'll go in the next room and put on my gown.
Say, Dr. McNulty, will it hurt much?
Oh, no, he's the best plastic surgeon in town.
Really?
Uh-huh. 10 years ago, a man came in to have his nose straightened out, so the doctor sat him down in a chair, stood behind the man, reached down and grabbed the patient's nose in both hands and began pulling up. He pulled and pulled and pulled, and all of a sudden, boing!
Gee, didn't the guy sue?
Why should he? Today, that man is Bob Hope.
Well, I hope my operation turns out okay.
The doctor came back. He was carrying his surgical instruments, and he had slipped into his operating gown. He was wearing them long, too. He adjusted the ether cone to my nose. I began inhaling. My head began to whirl. I began to hear voices. The light bill's too high now, too high now, too high now, too high now. Then I caught a blurred vision of Lauren looking down at me. She was so beautiful. I wanted to marry her. I cried, Lauren, Lauren. She looked at me tenderly and said, her voice was so beautiful. Suddenly things got dimmer and dimmer. My head whirled faster and faster. And then I passed out. When I came to, the operation was over. They removed the bandages. I looked in the mirror. It was even better than I expected. I looked like a Cadillac. I had white sidewall ears. The doctor was pleased, too. He was smiling, and he said...
How do you feel, Mr. Benny?
I mean, fine, thank you.
I was so happy that I ran out of the doctor's office. But my happiness didn't last long. People recognized me. So I went back to the doctor and had my face changed again. This time I looked like a Buick. But people still recognized me. So I had my face changed again. No, I looked like an Oldsmobile. But I still wasn't safe. Not only were people recognizing me, but I was going broke buying license plates. There was no use. Finally, in desperation, I sold myself to the smiling Irishman. They put a noose top on me and made me into a bus. I am now running between Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. All aboard!
Friends, every worthwhile undertaking usually has a slogan, sort of an identifying phrase to express its purpose. The community chest has one, a fine one, which says, everybody benefits, everybody gives. It's sort of like the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's really the purpose of the community chest anyway. So let's all help make the slogan of the community chest a practical aid to the health and welfare of millions of Americans. Everybody benefits, everybody gives. Thank you.
Jack will be back in just a moment. But first,
quality of product is essential to continuing success.
And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette.
Remember what happens at the tobacco auctions? Year after year at market after market, independent tobacco experts can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Mr. Sidney Curran, tobacco warehouseman of Oxford, North Carolina, has spent 25 years on the tobacco markets. Recently, he said,
"At auction after auction, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy tobacco that's got real smoking quality. Fine tobacco that smokes up mild, cool, and fragrant. Smoked Lucky's myself for 26 years.
So for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, remember, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned in for the Phil Harris Alice Faye show, which follows immediately. And be sure to listen to A Day in the Life of Dennis Day on Wednesday night. And next Sunday on my own show, I have one, you know, I'm expecting a visit from my next-door neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. Good night, folks.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
From Rexall. From Palm Springs, California, it's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist with a welcome from the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names. You can always tell us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. Many of you are already familiar with some of these famous products. Like MI-31, for example, Rexall's popular mouthwash. MI-31 is the antiseptic formula that kills contacted germs almost instantly when used full strength, yet does not harm delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Quality like Rexall's MI-31 is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Today is the Harris family's last day in Palm Springs. They want to take advantage of it, so Phil has insisted that they get up at 5 a.m. As we look in, they're returning to the hotel after a 2-hour horseback ride.
Gee, Mommy, we've had a wonderful morning. So far, we've played tennis and gone swimming and bicycle riding. What's the next thing planned for us?
Well, I don't know. Let's go back to the room, wake Daddy up, and ask him.
Phyllis, why doesn't Daddy ever get up in the morning? Oh, he can't on account of his health. He said he has peculiar pigmentation of the skin, and the gamma rays of the morning sun affect his epidermis. What does that mean? It's French for beat it, get lost, and let me sleep. Mommy, why doesn't Daddy ever get up in the morning?
Oh, for a very good reason, children. He says he's like a delicate flower, and the morning sun wilts him.
Why, I thought the sun was good for flowers.
Oh, not your father. He claims he's a jasmine and only blooms at night. I wonder if he's awake yet.
Isn't that Daddy sitting over there by the pool with Uncle Willie?
So it is. Look, girls, you go in and get dressed, and I'll be there in a few minutes. I want to talk to Daddy. I wonder what they're watching so intently. Uh-oh. It's that girl on the diving board in the French bathing suit.
I'll sneak up behind them and see just how interested they are.
Philip, isn't she a honey? Get that red hair, that beautiful face, and that voluptuous figure.
Yes, William. But what about her character? Can she carry on an intelligent conversation? Can she cook and sew and keep house?
Who cares with a figure like that?
Wait a minute, are we reading each other's lines?
You're right about that girl, Philip. We men shouldn't be taken in by what appears on the surface. She looks nice from here, but what about her background?
Well, wait till she turns around. We'll find out. You know, Willie, those two-piece bathing suits are really fascinating. So alluring.
Phil!
And that's why they disgust me.
I'll bet you just can't stand the sight of it.
Honey, you're so right. I've been sitting here mortified.
How long have you been sitting here?
Oh, I've been mortified about 3 hours now.
I think that girl looks disgraceful posing there with her bare midriff. Every man in the place is looking.
Yeah. What a spot for a Burma shave ad.
Well, come on, fellas. Let's go in for breakfast. Oh, by the way, where's Frankie?
Yeah, last time I saw him, a man was selling him a uranium mine for $50.
Well, that sounds like something stupid enough for Frankie to fall
Wait
for.
a minute. Remley ain't stupid. He's got more sense than to fall for anything.
Hiya, Curly.
Ah. Hiya, Franklin. I'm glad you showed up. I hear you bought a uranium mine for $50.
Oh, Curly, you don't think I fell for that, do you? I'm not gullible. I have too much sense. Besides, I was busy doing something much more important.
What are you doing?
Watching the flying saucers.
I told you. Lean over here and breathe out, Clyde. You were watching what?
Flying saucers. Don't tell me you're one of the few remaining people who hasn't seen one.
Remley, how many fingers have I got up? Look closely. Now, you were seeing things again.
I am not. I can prove it. I saw a whole squadron of them. In fact, I turned to the guy I was spending the afternoon with and said, "Did you see what I saw?"
And what did the bartender reply?
I wasn't with no bartender.
Oh, Frankie, a lot of people think they've seen flying saucers, but I don't believe it.
I wouldn't believe it either if I hadn't seen those two guys from Mars who were driving it.
Oh, I got to take the strings off his guitar. His music's driving him nuts. Remley, let me get this straight. You saw a flying saucer with two men in it, and right away you knew that they were men from Mars.
Oh, no, not right away. Came out in the course of the conversation.
You talked to the men from Mars?
Well, naturally. I'm no snob. I'll talk to anybody who's nice.
All right.
Do you expect anybody to believe that wild story?
Newspapers believed it. I called them last night and gave them the whole story. It's in every newspaper throughout the country today.
Oh, no, Remley. Can you pull a hoax like that? When that article appears with your name in it, you'll be the laughing stock of the nation. Everybody's going to laugh at you.
Nobody's going to laugh at me.
What makes you so sure?
When I called the papers, I gave them your name.
Oh, Frankie, why did you have to give them my name?
You can use the publicity. Look at these headlines. Alice Faye's husband sees flying saucers and talks to men from Mars.
Alice Faye's husband?
Yeah, I got you a little publicity, too. Now, you should have seen that sight. I was driving along the desert, and I saw those flying saucers come shooting from out of nowhere.
Driven by men from Mars?
No.
No?
That part I made up to make the other part sound believable. No, Curly, this is a sight I'll never forget. Those large cylindrical objects flashing through the sky at a terrific speed, and suddenly one plummeted to earth and landed in a burst on the desert. The door opened, and those little men started swarming over the...
Hold it, Orson. You saw this saucer land in the desert.
Yeah, and I can prove it. I would have gone out to examine it yesterday, but it was getting dark. I'm going out now. If you'll come with me, I'll show you where it is.
I ain't going.
You better. I told the newspaper men to be here at 2 o'clock to get all the facts. You should be able to describe your flying saucer.
Oh, Remley. The things you get me into, I don't... Oh, all right, I'll go. But you better produce a flying saucer.
Yeah, I will. Alice, you want to come with us?
No. I don't want him to think I'm a kibitzer.
Who?
The 2 men from Mars. I'll only be in the way when you 4 start playing canasta.
All right.
Now, don't be facetious, Alice, or I shall not permit you to sing Wilhelmina from that new picture.
What new picture?
The one you're in, Wabash Avenue.
You try to stop her and I'll break your arm. Sing, lover.
Wilhelmina, she's the cutest little girl in Copenhagen. Wilhelmina, she has all the fellas crazy in the noggin in Copenhagen. And the roses on her cheeks, and the music when she speaks, and how sweet her kisses taste. Super Danish like her mama's Danish pastry. Wilhelmina, maybe soon she will elope in Copenhagen. In Copenhagen. Wilhelmina, she'll share everything, including his toboggan. In Copenhagen, all the other girls say no, but Wilhelmina, she says nine. All the boys call Wilhelmina Willie, but he calls Wilhelmina mine.
Wilhelmina, she's the cutest little girl in Copenhagen. Wilhelmina, she has all the fellas crazy in the noggin in Copenhagen.
And the roses on her cheeks, and the music when she speaks, and how sweet her kisses taste. Sugar Danish like her mama's Danish pastry.
Wilhelmina, Wilhelmina,
maybe soon she'll elope in Copenhagen.
Wilhelmina, Wilhelmina,
share everything, including his toboggan.
In Copenhagen, all the other girls say 9.
But Wilhelmina, she says 10.
All the boys call Wilhelmina Willie, but he calls Wilhelmina, Wilhelmina mine.
Why did I ever let you fellas talk me into looking for a flying saucer? It doesn't exist. We've been tramping over this desert for 5 hours now, and I'm hot and tired and thirsty.
So am I. I'd give anything for a drink. How about you, Curly?
Water.
Water. There's no time to wash.
I want water to drink.
To drink? You're in worse shape than I am. I'm just thirsty. You're delirious.
Oh, Remley, you and your flying saucers. Getting it in the paper that I saw. If I don't produce one, they're going to laugh me out of town.
I tell you, I saw one crash out here in the desert. Around here someplace. Curly, look over there. That pile of twisted metal is my flying saucer.
Remley, you're right. You see, Alice, and you thought he was having hallucinations.
Come on, Curly. Help me dig this wreck out of the sand.
Yeah, I'll help you. Maybe we can find some clue of where it's from, huh?
Hey, fellas, fellas, I found the disc here. There's a lot of mud on it, but there seems to be something written underneath the mud.
Well, scrape it off, honey. Scrape it off. Maybe it'll tell what planet it's from.
Well, hurry up, Alice. Is it from Jupiter or Saturn?
No, it starts with an M.
M? It's either Mars or Mercury. Quick, Alice, what does it say?
Maxwell.
An old hubcap. So this is where Jackson buried his car. Wait till the insurance company finds out about this. They ain't gonna like it.
Why?
Jackson told them Rommel captured it in Africa. Frankie, this ain't a flying saucer. It's just an old automobile wreck.
Who has to know that? Let's take it into town. They'll never know the difference. After all, it fooled you and me.
Yeah. But how many people are you going to find as stupid as us?
True. But look, Curly, you're in a spot with the newspapermen. You got to take it back to town and try to palm it off as a flying saucer.
All right. We'll try to palm it off. We'll take it back. Oh, Frankie, why do you do these things to me? If you're trying to shorten my life, why do you do it the hard way? Why don't you just stab me in the back, poison my beer? Tell Petrillo I'm working under scale.
You fellas get the craziest schemes. What goes on in your head?
Never mind. We got what it takes up here.
Yes. Between the two of you, you have a lovely bunch of coconuts.
I ain't gonna sing that song.
I ain't either.
Well, as long as nobody's going to sing it, let's pick up these parts and get back to town.
Yeah. Well, we got the pieces all spread out on the ground. This stuff looks like it came from Mars, all right.
Yeah. Does that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man, if we can put this one over, we'll be the first ones to produce a flying saucer.
Yeah. Providing Alice doesn't give us away. By the way, where is she?
She said something about going to find a psychiatrist.
What's wrong with her?
Well, she's been having headaches lately.
I noticed. She's been acting kind of strange.
Yeah. Well, be that as it may. Come on, let's look over this once more before the newspaper men get here.
That's not necessary. This is perfect.
Now, wait a minute, Remley. I don't know. This looks too much like an automobile wreck. They're not going to be fooled by this.
Of course, maybe not just by this. But they'll have to believe you when you produce the clincher.
What clincher?
The man from Mars.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. Well, here we go again. Look, Frankie, we don't have a man from Mars.
Yes, I know that. But all we have to do is find one and leave that to me.
Oh, you know a guy, huh?
Of course not. I don't know anybody from Mars.
How about that girl you were out with last night? She ain't from here.
Don't be a wise guy. Now, I can find somebody. All we need is some short, weird-looking character with an oversized head.
Hiya, fellas, here I am.
Frankie, someday this kid ain't going to come in on cue, and then where will we be?
He never fails. He looks the part, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's small enough and certainly weird-looking enough. But his head ain't big enough.
No, it isn't. Well, I'll take care of that. Hold still, Julius. Open your mouth.
Get that bicycle pump out of my kisser!
Well, what are you afraid of, Julius? All we want to do is to pump your head up a little.
Any special sign?
fella's voice.
Well, wait a minute. Remley, how big do we have to make his head?
I think 30 pounds ought to do it.
Oh, we better make it 24. He's got a low-pressure skull.
Why don't you make it 40 pounds? I think I got a slow leak in my head.
What makes you think so?
I gotta have to keep coming around here all the time. Fellas, I don't want you to think I'm a point killer, but I ain't gonna let nobody blow my head up.
Julius, now look, I know it may sound ridiculous, but we have a perfectly logical reason for wanting to do it.
What's your reason?
We need a man from Mars. What's the matter?
I almost choked on that one. How fatty can two grown men get?
Julius, this may appear a little far-fetched, but Mr. Harris is in a spot and we've got to help him. There was an article in this morning's paper saying that he saw a flying saucer and a man from Mars.
That's right. Now, do you see why I need your help?
Yeah. You tied one on and you want me to loosen the knot.
Look, kid, if you'll do this thing for us, we'll give you $20.
Oh, it's a deal.
Hey, now, Remley, you better wait a minute because we ain't never going to get away with this. Nobody's going to believe that he's from another world.
They might when I get finished with him. I'll take him up to the room, put some weird clothes on him, a lot of grotesque makeup. I'll make him look like a lovely bunch of coconuts.
I still ain't going to sing that song.
You want another lead-in?
No, thanks. I'll creep into this one myself. Bill Jackson was a poor old duck who joined the Darktown Poker Club and cursed the day he told him he was John. That money used to go like it had wings. If he held queen, someone had kings, and each night he would contribute all that coin. When he said, I'm going to play him tight tonight, there'd be no bobtail flush to make me bite. He said, when I get the nets in my hands, there'll be a feast. Played him tight and lost his pile, and Bill got peevish after a while, so he rose, looked all around, and made this speech. Said, you all see this brand new razor? I had it sharpened just today. Now, I'm coming in with my rules that I want you to follow when you play, boy. Keep your hands up on the table while you're dealing, please. Don't be slipping them aces down there in between your knees. Don't be making them funny signs like you're trying to tip off your hand just talking American, boys, so I can understand. And don't be getting them off the bottom because, ooh, that's rough. Take five, then stop. That's enough. Now, when you bet, put up the chips. I don't like it when you shy. Then when you get busted, go get something. I'm going to be your by and by. Pass them cards and let me shuffle every time before you deal. Anything goes wrong, I want to see. But I mean, you ain't going to play this game now, according to that Mr. Hoyley. You going to play this game according to me. Sitting right there in that there clan, they chanced to be a one-eyed man, and Bill kept on watching him out of the corner of his eye. If old one-eye was dealing then, would cost that Bill another 5 or 10. Bill got up again and looked all around him with a sigh. Said, Lord, it's an awful shame. Said, someone's cheating this here game. Said, coach, it ain't no good for me to name the guy. So I'll refrain from mentioning the party's name. If I catch him cheating just once again, I'm going to take this fist and close that other eye. Now, do you see this brand new razor? I had it sharpened just today. I'm walking in with my rules that you must follow when you play Egghead. Keep your bony hands up there while you're giving them out, please. Don't be slipping them wildies down in there between your knees. And don't be making them funny signs. You're still trying to tip off your hand. You better talk an American, boy. Big A, so's I can understand. And stop getting them off the bottom. I keep trying to tell you it's rough. This is the Army game. 5-5, halt. That's enough. Now, when you bet, put up the reds and blues. I don't like it when you shy. Then if you run out of gas, go get pumped up. I'll be your by and by. Pass them pasteboards, let me ripple every time before you deal. Let me irrigate around with them. I want to see. But you ain't going to play the game now according to that Mr. Harley. You're going to play this game according to me. Now, Henry, if you'll break the seal on that new deck of bicycles, we'll go on from there. Yeah.
Look, Curly. I got Julius all dressed and made up. Here he is.
Oh, no.
How do I look?
Like a street in Tijuana after a heavy rain. Remley, what's that horrible-looking outfit he's wearing? Even a man from Mars couldn't wear a messy thing like that. Where'd you get that?
One of your sport jackets cut down. Now, look, Julius, remember you're from Mars, so you can't talk a word of English. When the newspaper men get here, just talk gibberish.
Do you want the southern or the provincial gibberish?
Look, Frankie, we better give it up. This kid ain't going to fool anybody, and besides...
there you are, Mr. Harris.
Uh-oh, that's one of the newspaper men. Now I'll have to go through with this. Don't forget, kid, gibberish.
Well, Mr. Harris, you made the headlines all over the country with your story about the flying saucer and the man from Mars.
Yes, I know.
Now, personally, I don't believe it. We all know there's no such thing as... Well, I'll be darned. You have a man from Mars. He's the most frightening-looking creature I've ever seen.
That's Frankie Remley. The man from Mars is the short, frightening creature over there.
Thanks, Load.
So this is what they look like. I see it, but I don't believe it. Do you mind if I interview him?
Oh, well, Mr. Well, you see, he doesn't talk English. But I've been with him constantly since I found him, and I picked up a little of his native tongue. And I'll gladly interview him for you. What do you want to know?
Ask him where he's from.
Okay. Mugwump. Oogle Moggle Iggle Hooger. Willy Waddle with a Woody Wally.
Huh?
We don't always understand each other. Mugwump, the man wants to know where your home is. Holler Maga Ula Lama, where's the place of use of Frama?
Sugar Mother Sugar Psyche, I got from Albuquerque.
What did he say?
Oh, you see, I taught him a few simple words in English, and he's trying to be funny.
There's one thing I can't stand. It's a wise guy from Mars.
All right. Now, mister, is there anything else you'd like me to ask him?
I have just one more question. How did he get here from Mars? What route did he take?
Oh, the route. That's a good point. I'll ask him. Mugwump. Stigamaga Alahuda Floozy. Ricky.
Aha! How about Gula Mars? Kansas City. Hello, left turn, passing Route 66. It's about a Coos Bay. Passing for Anaheim, Azusa, Cucamonga.
Made a lot of stops. You see, he was on a goodwill tour.
Mugwump Chamber of Commerce. All right, fellas, you can break it up now. Wait till I expose this whole thing as a hoax. The townspeople aren't going to like it.
The whole thing ain't a hoax. I did see a lot of flying saucers yesterday. 2 miles due north of town.
2 miles due north.
Yeah.
I got news for you, blow-top. They have a skeet shoot out there. Those were clay discs you saw.
Clay discs?
Curly, how could you make such a stupid mistake? Telling the newspapers you saw flying.
Remley, I'll swear I'll kill you.
Listen to me, Curly.
1,000,000 times I'll kill you.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Next Sunday is Easter, and maybe a lot of you mothers have the same problem one of my customers mentioned last week.
You know, I love fixing a big dinner for Easter, but I wish that just once my family could come through a holiday without an epidemic of upset stomachs from acid indigestion.
Why not do what thousands of other mothers do? Be sure you have a bottle of Bismarex on hand.
Bismarex?
That's Rexall's famous antacid, and it's just about the most prompt and soothing relief from acid indigestion I know of.
What makes it so exceptional?
The formula, ma'am. A Rexall exclusive. You see, Bismarex is specially compounded to work in a continuous relay. First, it quickly neutralizes excess acid, often within 1 minute. Next, it eases gastric distress. And finally, Bismarex leaves a soothing, protective covering on irritated stomach membranes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Certainly everyone knows you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
We're a little late due to this wonderful audience in Palm Springs, so good night, everybody.
Don't let a spring cold make you cough your head off. Try Cherisote, Rexall's popular cough remedy. Ruby red, pleasant-tasting Cherisote goes after coughs 2 ways. First, it soothes the raw and irritated membranes of your throat and bronchial tubes. Second, it helps loosen your cough. Always see your doctor about a cough that hangs on. Ask for Cherisote at the store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Next, Sam Spade, then Cornell Wilde and Theater Guild on NBC.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best. Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best.
Your level best. That's how you'll feel when you light up a Lucky. Because Lucky's fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense. It's important to you as a smoker to know that fine tobacco can do this for you. And every smoker knows
LSMFT, LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Mild, ripe, light tobacco. Remember, more independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined. It's good to know that fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense, by putting you on the right level to feel and do your level best. That's the Lucky level.
Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best. Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best.
Get on the Lucky level, where it's fun to be alive. Get a carton of Luckies and get started today.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. "'Tis the night before Christmas, and at Jack Benny's house, there are presents for all, even cheese for the mouse. Jack is up on a chair, then he's down on his knee. You have to do that when you're trimming a tree.
Well, we're all through, Mary. Gee, it was nice of you to come over and help me trim the tree.
Well, if I didn't, you'd never get it done. Say, Jack, shall I put the snow around the bottom now?
Not yet. I want to see if the lights are working. Look, I'll hold up the bulbs, and when I say ready, you plug it in.
Okay. Ready?
Ready. Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it out! My goodness.
Oh, Jack, why'd you make me shut it off? Those lights were so pretty. Especially those 2 blue ones that kept flashing on and off.
Those were my eyes. And I must have been holding on to a bare wire.
Well, it's your own fault. Every time you fool around with electricity, something goes wrong.
It does not. I know plenty about electricity.
Oh, sure. Remember what happened last month when you fixed your doorbell?
What happened?
I pushed the button and it set fire to Mount Baldy.
Oh, stop exaggerating. Anyway, hand me that roll of tape. I'll fix this bare wire right now.
Here you are.
Thanks. Comes to electricity, I know what I'm doing. Okay, when you see a bare wire, you just tape it up like this. And in that way, it's insulated against outside elements. There. That'll be enough tape. All right, Mary, plug it in.
Okay.
Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it out!
For heaven's sake.
What happened, Jack?
I taped my finger to the wire. That's what happened.
Oh, gee. And that time was even prettier than before.
What do you mean?
Your nose lit up, too.
It did not. Let's get this tree finished before the gang gets here.
But, Jack, what about the light?
We'll have to let that go until later. Now, hand me one of those...
Oh, Mr. Bailey!
What is it, Rochester?
I baked that cake like you told me to.
Good. Did you have enough whipped cream to spell out Merry Christmas on top?
Yeah. Say, boss, how many R's in Mary?
2.
Oh.
Oh, well, then you better add one.
Add one? I better cross one out. I got
3. Well, leave it. It's better than ruining the cake.
Okay.
Oh, Rochester, will you please take these Christmas tree lights and fix them?
Fix them?
Yes.
I ain't fooling around with electricity.
Well, what are you afraid of?
I don't want to get hit by nothing I can't hit back.
Oh, Rochester, imagine being afraid of electricity. Suppose Robert Fulton was afraid. He never would have invented the electric light, would he?
Jack, you're thinking of Thomas Edison.
Edison? Well, then, what did Robert Fulton do?
He invented the slow boat to China.
Oh, yes. Now, Rochester, please fix these lights, will you?
Okay. Let me see now. In electricity, there's the electrons and the electrodes. Then there's the positive and the negative. But I ain't positive which one is negative. Then there's the atoms. Now, the atoms are supposed to go from the positive to the negative. Or maybe they go from the electrons to the electrodes. Then again, maybe they go from NBC to CBS.
Rochester.
Now, as long as these atoms keep passing each other, everything is all right. But when they meet halfway and start fighting, they're going to turn on anybody who tries to butt in.
Rochester, I'm not interested in the scientific details. I just want you to fix those lights. And I promise you, while you're holding the wires, no one in this room will turn on the switch.
I know, boss. While I'm holding the wire, you ain't going to turn on the switch. And Miss Livingston ain't going to turn on the switch.
Well, of course not.
But way up there in Boulder Dam, there's a little man sitting in a room with thousands of wires all around him.
So what?
How do I know he ain't going to turn...
You can read that one again. This is a preview. Go ahead.
How do I know he ain't going to do something just to break the monotony?
All right. I'll fix it myself. Come on, Mary. Help Mary, we've got all the packages under the tree. Looks nice, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. Jack, if you're not going to use the Christmas tree lights, let's put on the candy canes.
Okay, here's the box, and you can... Hey, wait a minute. I had 12 candy canes, now there are only 11. Where's the other one?
Well, don't look at me.
I'm not looking at you, I'm asking you.
All right, I ate it. Here's 10 cents.
Marty, I bet you'd be surprised if I took it.
I would be surprised if you sued me.
Mary, let's get this finished.
Jack, you better pick those lights up off the floor before somebody steps on them.
Oh, yes. Now, where can I put them? I'll put these lights on the chair right here. And, Mary, here's Phil Harris's present. I forgot that. Slip it under the tree. Boy, will he be surprised.
But, Jack, how'll he be surprised? You've got toilet water written all over the box.
Well, you gotta do that with Phil. When he opens a package and finds a bottle, he never stops to read the label. Last year, I gave him a miniature ship in a bottle, and the mask stuck out of his mouth for 3 days. Every time I asked him something, he had to answer me through the crow's nest. Believe me, I know what I'm doing.
Well, Jack, I guess that does it. The tree is all finished.
Yeah, gee, it looks swell. I'm kind of tired. I think I'll sit down for a minute and smoke a cigarette. Mary, have you got a match?
No.
Oh, well.
Oh, say, boss.
What is it, Rochester?
Are your socks dry yet?
I think so.
Well, people will be here soon. You better take them off the tree.
Oh, that's right. You take them off, will you, Rochester? I'm tired. I want to sit here a while.
Yes, sir. Say, this tree looks awful nice, but it's kind of dark. Oh, no wonder the lights aren't plugged in. I'll fix that. Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it out!
For heaven's sake.
What's the matter, Jack?
I was sitting on the wire. As long as you're here, Rochester, give me a match.
You don't need it now. Your cigarette is lit.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Rochester.
Don't thank me. Thank that little man up at Boulder Dam.
Rochester.
It's the first time I ever saw LSMFT lit up by AC and DC.
Yeah, that's very funny. I wonder how that guy at Boulder Dam knew I was... Oh, well. Come in. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Same to you, Phil.
Hey, Jackson, that Christmas tree looks terrific.
Yeah, it is a nice tree, isn't it?
Yeah, not only that, it's grown about 2 feet since last year.
This isn't the same one. You know, Phil, I believe in the old-fashioned way of getting a tree. You know, when you get up early in the morning and you bundle yourself up warm and throw an axe over your shoulder and go out in the woods, you know, out in the wilderness and chop down your own Christmas tree.
Hey, you're right, Jackson. Where'd you find this one?
In the lobby of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
You said it. Timber! Yes, sir.
Hey, Jackson, you ought to see the tree I got in my house. I got it all decorated. Right on the top, I got a reindeer.
Oh, a picture of a reindeer?
No, a live one. I spend my money.
For heaven's sake, how could you get a live reindeer up on top of the tree?
Well, it was easy, Jackson. I just gave him a little eggnog and he got high. Oh, you humorous old filthy. You're the Mark Twain of your generation.
Mark Twain? Phil, that's Twain. Twain.
Wheelie?
Phil, after a gag like that, your lucky Santa doesn't scratch you with his claws. Say, that was pretty good, too.
Don't bother sending us Cracker Jack, Mother. We're now getting corn by the ton.
Oh, I don't know, Mary. I thought it was pretty cute. Hey, Phil, what do you got in that package there?
Oh, I almost forgot, Jackson. It's a Christmas present for you.
For me?
Yeah. Me and the boys in the band all chipped in and got it for you.
Well, thanks, Phil. I'll put it under the tree.
No, you don't. Open it up right now.
Okay. Gee, it was certainly nice of you and the boys to think of me. I really didn't... Oh, Phil, thanks. Gee, a beautiful turtleneck sweater. Gee.
Yeah. Look inside of it, Jackson.
Inside?
Yeah.
Oh, Phil.
What is it, Jack?
A turtle. fine present to give me. I'll fix him. Come here, Phil. Sit down on my chair.
Well, thanks, Jackson.
Are you comfortable, Phil?
Sure.
Good. Mary, push him the plug.
Oh, Jack, you wouldn't dare.
Hand me the plug. I'll give it to him myself.
Hey, Jackson, what about my present?
Just sit where you are. You'll get it. It's a surprise. Mary, watch me jump. 1, 2, 3. There. Phil, don't you feel anything?
No, why?
Well,
what about the surprise? What's the matter?
We're having a little trouble at Boulder Dam.
Mary, I can't understand what went wrong. Phil, stand up a minute, will you?
Okay.
Well, let's see. There must be something wrong with this thing here that I can't...
Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it
out! A fine thing to do to a guy on Christmas Eve. Of course, I won't be able to talk at all on July 2nd.
Well, it's your own fault for trying to play a trick on Phil.
Ah, so that's it, eh, Jackson? Trying to give me a hot seat.
Oh, it was nothing, Phil. I was just trying to have a little fun.
Pull it out! Pull it!
Jack, that's the doorbell.
Come in.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Phil.
Hiya, kid.
Hello, Phil.
Hiya, kid. Hey, what's the idea? You guys greeting each other twice.
We've each got 2 shows.
Oh. Well, Dennis, I'm glad you got here, but I thought you were going to bring your mother with you.
Oh, she couldn't come today on account of the flu.
The flu?
Yes, she's cleaning out the chimney.
What?
Well, that's about all I can take. I'm going to the bar and start warming up for New Year's Eve.
Dennis, I don't know what you're talking about. If your mother has to go around wiping out chimneys, why doesn't your father help her?
What do you think she's wiping them with?
Look.
Excuse me, Jack. I'm going in and mix them for Phil.
I don't blame you. Now, look, Dennis, as long as you're here, let's have the song you're going to sing on the program, will you? What's it going to be?
I'm going to sing Buttons and Bagels.
Okay, go ahead.
East is east and west is west, and the wrong one I have chose. Let's go where you keep on wearing those frills and flowers and buttons and bows, rings and things and buttons and bows. Don't bury me in this prairie, take me where the cement grows. Let's move down to some big town where they'll love a gal by the cut of her clothes. You'll stand out in buttons and bows. I love you in buckskin or skirts that you've homespun, but I love you longer, stronger, where your friends don't hold a gun. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows you're all mine in buttons and bows. A western ranch is just a branch of nowhere junction to me. Give me the city where living's pretty and the gals wear finery. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows you're all mine in buttons and bows. Give me eastern trimming where women are women in high silk hose and peekaboo clothes, French perfume that rocks the room, and you're all mine in buttons and bows.
Dennis, that was a beautiful song, and I'm sorry your mother wasn't here so she could hear it. By the way, I have a lovely gift for her for Christmas.
Oh, what is it?
Don't tell her, but I'm sending her a pair of alligator shoes.
Alligator shoes? That's awful.
What's awful about it?
Now some poor alligator's running around barefooted.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Now, kid.
In the winter, too.
Dennis, quiet. Now, look, let's go in the other room.
Well, say, Mr. Benny.
What?
You see this tie I'm wearing? My girl knitted it for me for Christmas.
The tie? What are those things hanging on the side?
She started to make a sweater and changed her mind.
Oh. Well, it looks nice, Dennis, and that's a pretty stick pin you have in it.
Oh, that's one of the needles. She forgot to take it out.
Oh. Well, it's a beautiful gift, Dennis. It really is. Come in. Oh, hello, Don.
Hello, Jack.
Hello, Don.
Well, hello, Dennis.
Hiya, Don.
Hi, Dennis.
Wait a minute. Don hasn't got 2 shows.
I know, but look at how fat he is.
Well, you have a point there.
That's a knitting needle.
Now cut that out! Oh, by the way, Don, did you like the little Christmas present I sent you?
Oh, yes, Jack. It's beautiful. It's the nicest wallet I ever received.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
But there's only one thing wrong, Jack.
What?
It's a shame to use such a beautiful wallet to hold such a lousy salary check.
Yeah, you're right, Don. I should have gotten you a cheaper wallet. Oh, say, Don, what about the commercial? Is the quartet here?
Oh, yes, Jack. They're right outside. Come on in, boys.
Hello, fellas. Gee, I'm glad they're here with you, Don. Now we can try out the New Year's commercial.
Well, Jack, I wish you wouldn't ask them to sing tonight. They all have very bad colds.
All 4 of them have a cold? The four fellas have a cold, all 4 of them. Well, what are they doing for it?
They chipped in and bought a 4-way cold tablet.
Well, let's try the commercial anyway. At least I'll get an idea of it,
Okay, but with their colds, Jack, I don't know how it'll sound.
Oh, what's the difference? Let's try it.
Okay, take it, boys.
Happy days start again with New Year's Eve start again. We will all stand up and again. Happy days for you and me. Lucky strikes are here to stay. In fact, they've never been away. So we'll celebrate on New Year's Day.
Thank goodness.
With an LSMFT.
Too bad you've all got the flu. I can tell you just what to do. Get in bed and stay there.
Here you are at CBS. We know that you'll have great success. And we're glad you moved, we must confess. Happy days are here again. Here again.
Gee, they must have caught that cold from Guy Lombardo. Well, thanks, Don. That'll be a swell commercial. It really will. Well, it's been a very nice Christmas Eve. Everybody had a good time. They've all gone home. I'm ready for bed, too.
You know, boss, your quartet sure has a bad cold.
I know. I don't want to catch one either. Rochester, I'm ready for bed.
You want me to get you an extra quilt?
No. I'll use my new electric blanket. Of course, you know what's coming. That's the hell of it, you know what I mean? This bed feels good. It's a little chilly, though, Rochester. Plug in the blanket.
Yes, sir.
Pull it out! Pull it out! Yeah, I wonder if that guy in Boulder Dam is related to Fred Allen. Oh, well, I'm going to sleep. Good night, Rochester.
Good night.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first...
Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best. Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best. You see, Lucky's fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense. It's good to know that fine tobacco can do this for you. And that's why it's so important that you select and smoke the cigarette of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
And as every smoker knows...
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. No wonder Lucky Strike is the overwhelming favorite of tobacco experts. For more independent auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen smoke Lucky's regularly than the next two leading brands combined. So...
Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best. Get on the right level, the Lucky level, where there's real joy in living, where it's fun to be alive. The Lucky level, where you feel your best and do your best.
Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best. Smoke a Lucky to feel your level best.
And remember, here's a gift every smoker on your Christmas list is sure to appreciate. A carton of Lucky Strike cigarettes in beautiful holiday wrapping. And for that special someone, get Lucky Strike 500, the handsome gift box of 25 packages of Lucky Strike cigarettes.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, and a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, John Brown, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing I'll Dance at Your Wedding.
You'll soon be walking down the aisle with someone by your side. The bells will ring, the choir will sing, the groom will kiss the bride. Oh, what a day that's gonna be, they'll come from everywhere. And when they play, oh, promise me, I promise I'll be there. I'll dance at your wedding, I'll dance at your wedding, I'll dance at your wedding, I'll have a wonderful time. I'll drink to your father, I'll drink to your mother, then I'll have another for auld lang syne. I'll kiss all the ladies, the young and old, and then I'll have myself another drink and kiss them all again. I'll dance at your wedding, I won't miss that wedding. I'll dance at your wedding, am I gonna shine at your wedding and mine? I'll drink to your father, I'll drink to your mother, then I'll have another for auld lang syne. I'll kiss all the ladies, the young and old, and then I'll have myself another drink and kiss them all again. I'll dance at your wedding, I won't miss that wedding. I'll dance at your wedding, am I gonna shine at your wedding and mine?
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference. And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
Yes, actual scientific tests proved conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested. And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath. So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy. And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, one of the pleasant things about Christmas shopping is the pause for refreshment afterwards. And in Weaverville, the favorite spot for that is a recently opened little place featuring a gypsy fortune teller and called, with great originality, the Little Gypsy Tea Room. We find a familiar trio occupying one of the tables this afternoon. There's Herbert Anderson, his daughter Mildred, and our young hero, Dennis Day, all waiting for the gypsy to unveil to them the mysteries of the future.
Gee, it's sure swell of you to take Mildred and me out to tea, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, well, we only live once, my boy. I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves.
Oh, we are, Daddy. But how did you ever manage to get the money for it?
Well, I'm afraid I did something a little unethical. I promise you won't tell.
Oh, of course we won't. But what did you do?
I got up earlier than Poopsie this morning and went through my pants pockets.
Gee, I bet you hereafter she keeps the money in her own pants. Oh, I forgot they have no pockets.
I'm glad you did it, Daddy. Golly, I can't wait to hear our fortunes. Can you, Dennis?
Well, gosh, I don't know. I'm a little scared of what she'll tell me.
Well, why? Have you had your fortune told before?
Yeah, I dropped a penny in a scale one day, and a card came out saying, you weigh 153. Now turn over this card and read your future.
And what was on the back of the card?
Just one word. Oi.
Who believes in a silly sidewalk scale? Princess Romagna's a real gypsy. She knows the truth.
Look, she's free now, Dennis. Call her over.
Okay. Yo, Princess Romagna, over here, please.
How do you do? You are desirous of consulting with the gypsy?
Yes. We'd like our fortunes told, Princess.
Certainly, dearie. Would you like just your immediate future, or can I interest you in something from the cradle to the grave?
Well, whatever you see in our tea leaves.
All right. Let's have your cup, dearie. Oh, my, I seem to see a man in your life. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, it is.
He's dark, handsome, very distinguished looking, and terribly intelligent.
Oh, isn't she wonderful, Dennis?
What's so wonderful? She was looking right at me.
Tell me, Gypsy, are we going to be married someday?
Yeah. And look, do you see the 4 little specks of tea leaves at the side of the cup? That means you're going to have 4 children.
Pardon me, but one of those little specks is a fly.
Okay, so one of the children will be born in an aeroplane.
Oh, isn't that romantic? Now you, Daddy.
But I wasn't drinking tea, Mildred. All I had was a cup of coffee and a cigar.
Oh, that's okay. I do just as well with ashes. Flick a few toward Mecca.
No, I don't want to know my future. I'm content to just let my little Poopsie push me toward it.
Well, okay. Let's have your cup, Sonny.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Here you are.
Thank you. Let's see now. Oh, my, what's this? The leaf says there's going to be a big change in your life.
Gosh, really?
Yeah, and soon. Maybe even this very day. Or tomorrow.
Oh, Dennis, isn't that marvelous?
Boy, I'll say. Are you sure, Gypsy?
Positive. Kismet is about to take a hint.
Gosh, and I never even met the fellow.
Kismet means fate, son.
Oh, can you see any more in the leaves, Gypsy? Can you tell me what I'm going to...
I'm sorry, but that is all the leaves reveal, Sonny. And now I have other customers, so if you'll kindly cross my palm.
Yes, of course, Gypsy. I have some silver right here to cross it with.
Silver? Look, let's get all the way across, shall we, with some of that stuff that bends?
Oh, yes. Well, here you are now. Thank you, Princess.
Shalom Aleichem, I'm sure. Bye.
Gosh, just think my whole life's going to be changed. I may even have a completely new personality, huh?
Well, it's possible, I guess.
Boy, come on. I can hardly wait for tonight to come so I can go to bed and wake up in the morning and meet myself.
Well, so you finally got home.
Oh, hi, Mother.
Oh, evening, Mrs. Anderson.
Hello, Butterball.
Oh, Mother, we had the most...
That can wait, Mildred. You and your father step outside for a moment. I have a few words to say to this young man here. Alone.
Me?
Yes, you.
We'll see you later, Dennis. Come on, Daddy.
Mildred, if Kismet shows up, send him right in. I think I'm going to need him.
Dennis, I'll come right to the point. Do you know that my patience with you is exhausted?
Well, I knew that in my case it tired very quickly, but what have I done lately?
Are you aware that your room rent is 2 weeks overdue?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I realized it last night when I noticed that my bed was missing.
Dennis, I've strung along with you in the past because I hoped you'd change.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
But look at you. The same $8 a week job. The same miserable prospects. The same lame excuses about the rent for 2 years. You're even wearing the same sweatshirt you wore the day you came here. Is there anything to recommend you?
Not unless you admire consistency.
Well, I don't. I want my $12 or out you go.
But gee, Mrs. Anderson, how can you feel that way? It's almost Christmas time. The very air in this house should be filled with the Christmas spirit.
Well...
I can breathe it for $12, huh?
Exactly. And you've heard my last word on the subject.
Well. So this is Kismet. Gee, I can't wait for the next wonderful change in my life. I wonder what it'll be. Appendicitis or athlete's foot?
That you, Dennis?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Willoughby.
Good morning. I've been waiting for you, son. I have something to tell you. And it's rather big news, my boy.
Big news? You mean, is it something that will change my whole life, is it?
It's just that, my boy.
Kismet, at last! At last!
Yeah?
Quick, what is it? Tell me the glorious news. Quick!
Well, starting Monday morning, you'll be out of a job.
Huh?
That's right. I'm selling the store, son, so of course I'll have to let you go.
How could that Kismet turn out to be such a stinker?
I'm sorry, son, but you know I've always wanted a ranch out west. And now that I've found a rich young sucker to buy the store, I can have one at last.
Oh, I see. Well, Mr. Willoughby, this new owner, couldn't you recommend that he keep me on here?
Dennis, he's a member of my lodge. I couldn't do that to a fellow bald eagle.
Oh.
Besides, he's giving me $8,000 for this place. That's enough of a beating.
Gosh, $8,000?
Yes, exactly the price of the ranch I'm buying. Of course, I did want another place at $12,000, but unfortunately the bank turned down my application for a loan.
Your credit is no good?
Well, as a storekeeper, yes, but not as a rancher. They said unless I had someone in with me who knew all about ranching, they... Hey.
What?
Son, how would you like to be my brother Clarence?
I think I'd hate it.
I mean just long enough to go over to the bank and tell them that you're my brother from out west. That you know all about cattle ranching and that you're going to run my place for me. Then they'll give me the money for the ranch I really want.
But, Mr. Willoughby, isn't that a little sneaky?
Certainly not. I'll pay back the loan. You think they call me Honest Homer Willoughby for nothing?
Yes, sir.
Well, they don't. Now, look, Dennis, if you can put this over for me, I'll see that the new owner keeps you on.
Gee, do you mean it?
I do. And what's more, you'll get a $5 raise.
$5? Boy, you spend other people's money like it was other people's money, don't you?
Well, naturally. Now run over to that costume place and get yourself a Western outfit and a handlebar mustache. Then hop right down to the bank and get to work on Mr. Courtney. Okay?
Yeah, I guess I haven't got much choice.
Fine. And remember, you're no longer Dennis Day.
I'm not?
Of course not. You're my brother Clarence.
Oh, that's right. Gee, I hope when Kismet comes up with my permanent change, I'll come from a better family.
Yes? Mr. Willoughby to see me? No, tell him I... Oh, his brother. All right, Miss Flood, have him come in. That's funny. I didn't know Willoughby had... I suppose I might as well see him. Come in.
Howdy there, partner. I'm from the land of the Golden West, out way yonder there. Willoughby's my handle, Saddle Sore Willoughby of the B-Bar H.
You don't say.
I sure do, partner. What say we hunker down by the fire and palaver a spell, hey?
Well, I have no fire, but you can hunker down in that chair if you care. I'm sure you'll find it comfortable.
Thank you. You're right. This is darn good hunkering.
Good. Now, what's on your mind, Mr. Willoughby?
Well, it's about my brother Homer's loan, partner. Guess he didn't tell you I was going to run his ranch for him, hey?
He never even told me he had a brother, much less one that knew ranching. Why didn't he say something about it yesterday?
Settle back, son. I'm ready for that one. You see, he never knew until today that he had a brother.
What? Weren't you raised together?
Sure, but you know how close-mouthed us Western folks are. Ma just never told them who I was.
Didn't it ever occur to him to ask her?
Us Willoughbys ain't the nosy kind, Bob.
I find that story very hard to believe, Mr. Willoughby.
Well, give it everything you got, partner. It's the best I can do.
So you claim to be an experienced cattle rancher, eh?
You bet. Been a raising and a selling cattle since I was born. My pa had the biggest cattle ranch in all of Wyoming.
Oh? How many head did he have?
Why, one, of course, same as me.
I'm talking about heads of cattle.
Oh.
How many did he sell in an average year?
Oh, he didn't sell them that way, son. You had to take the whole animal, feet and everything.
Saddle sore. When we speak of a head of cattle, we're talking about the entire animal.
You don't say.
It's a fact. Now, how many head of cattle did your father have on this ranch of his?
Oh, shucks, partner. I never could count them. We had about 1,000 cows and as many calves.
And how many bulls?
None. We figured bulls was too vicious, so all we had was cows.
Well, that's not a bad trick if you can work it.
Huh?
No, but I don't think you can. No, brother, are you a faker?
Hold on there, partner. Smile when you say that, or I'll stick you good with my cow poke.
With your cow poke? Oh, this is murder.
I said smile, partner. I didn't tell you to milk it.
You're wonderful, friend. You really are. Now, will you be good enough to tell me what this is all about?
Well, to tell the truth, Mr. Courtney, I'm Dennis Day, see?
Well, by George, so you are. That mustache...
Yes, sir. It was Mr. Willoughby's idea. See, he's pretty desperate for that loan, and he thought it was like...
excuse me. Yes? My wife's nephew. Confound my wife's nephew. Tell him I'm out. Tell him I'm busy. Tell him I'll see him tonight at the house. My wife's relatives, every time I draw a breath, there's more of them on my neck. Her mother in one room, her sister in another, and her two cousins in a third.
Gee.
A man's home is supposed to be his castle. You know what my wife has done to mine?
It looks like she's lowered the drawbridge too often.
Yes, and now her nephew and his wife. And this morning he asked me to recommend an obstetrician. Do you know what that means?
No, sir.
An obstetrician is a baby doctor.
Gee, maybe they're going to have, if you'll pardon the expression, a baby.
Oh, of course they are, granted. But why do they have to come here and live with me? Oh, what I wouldn't give if they'd moved to another town.
Yeah, I guess you... Hey, what would you give?
Huh?
Well, supposing I went to this nephew of yours and told him I was the doctor you recommended. If I could convince him that Weaverville was a terrible place to have babies, he'd move, wouldn't he?
Why, by golly, young man, you have brains.
It does seem that way for the moment, doesn't it?
Yes, and you're right. He would move, but fast.
Sure. And as a return favor, you'd agree to loan Mr. Willoughby and me $4,012 in cash.
Well, why the $12?
Well, it's sort of a down payment. I'd like to lie down again. Is it a deal?
Well, all right, I guess so. Here's my nephew's address. His name is Prentice. Now, don't forget, you're a baby doctor.
Okay. Gee, first a store clerk, then a rancher, then a baby doctor. That Kismet sure is a busy little guy.
Yes, did you wish to see someone?
How do you do? I am Dr. Rittenhouse, Weißkopf und Kuh. Himmelschlager from way down Dorten there in Vienna der Dorten, if you please.
Oh, you must be the doctor my uncle recommended.
The very same. Now, I understand that, or rather your wife, the both of you are...
We're expecting a baby.
I'm almost certain that's what you'll get.
I hope so.
Now then, where are you planning to raise this baby?
Where? Why, right here, of course.
In Weaverville?
Why, sure.
Ach, du lieber, hach mir nicht kein Scheine.
I don't understand, Doc. Is there something wrong with that?
My dear friend, you want a fine bouncing baby, is that not so?
That's not possible here.
In Weaverville, they are just lying flat.
Golly.
I'm telling you, we got diseases here no one else ever even heard of. Did you ever hear of the Weaverville creep?
The Weaverville creep?
Every kid in Weaverville gets it.
My gosh. What is it? What does it do to them?
For a year after they're born, they can't walk.
No.
Not only that, but when they get to be about 8 years old, all their teeth fall out. It could go on forever, but maybe you'd rather not hear it. Maybe you've already decided to move your little family away from here, yeah?
Well, no.
In that case, I continue. Now, suppose that you are a very lucky man who manages to bring up a baby who is healthy. You realize that in this town also grow the meanest kids in ganze Welt bestoppen, reiten, verloppen. Every single one of them. We gotta spank them the minute they're born.
My goodness.
Ach, and the delinquency here. 95% of the children in this town are juvenile delinquents, and the other 5% shoot pool.
Doesn't the town council do anything about all this juvenile delinquency?
Town council? Why should they worry? They're too busy putting through laws to make it illegal to put anything but saloons on street corners.
But what about the drugstores?
They have all been forced to go underground.
But suppose someone was sick and needed medicine in the middle of the night.
They would have to eat pretzels with it.
I'm beginning to wonder now if this is the right town to raise my baby in.
It's about time. My boat was getting pretty near shut.
You know, Doc, I think you're right. Gwendolyn and I are packing tonight. We're leaving this town the first thing in the morning.
Good. Say, did I tell you how much calcium we got in the water here? Every kid in town is a bonehead. You better leave.
I already said we were going to.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I already had that line thought up, so I figured I might as well say it. Well, auf Wiedersehen, Dumka.
Mr. Willoughby, Kismet, I did it, Kismet.
What?
You're in, Mr. Willoughby, and all because of me. Oh, I'm grand, I tell you, grand. Dennis, you may kiss me on the cheek if you wish.
Kiss you?
Sure, pretend you're a Frenchman. Go ahead, have fun.
Dennis?
Oh, I know. You haven't heard from Mr. Courtney yet. But wait till I tell you the news. You'll cheer.
What news?
Well, I've gotten you the loan for that ranch you wanted. This is a cheer.
Dennis, maybe it's you who should hear the news. You see, my buyer backed out. He phoned a little while ago to tell me the deal was off, and he was coming back to pick up his deposit.
Oh, my gosh. Then that means I'm still your employee?
Don't rub it in. It's tough on both of us.
And what about my $5 raise? Now, there's a silly question if I ever heard one.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad it blew up like this, Dennis, but I don't... Uh-oh, here comes that ex-buyer of mine.
Mr. Willoughby, not that fellow crossing the sidewalk. It can't be.
What? Why, of course it is.
Oh, no, Kismet, no.
Hello, Mr. Willoughby. Here I am for my deposit. Oh, hello, Doc.
Wie geht's? Doc? Who are you calling Doc?
Why, this gentleman right here. He's the one who advised me to leave town.
What?
Oh, sure. And luckily I found a store in Middletown I like even better than...
Why, you?
Mr. Willoughby, no. Be careful. Your blood vessels will spring leaks.
Dennis, say when I'm through with you, your own mother won't recognize you.
Holy smoke. Is this the change I've been waiting for? If I ever get my hands on that Kismet, I'll murder the bum.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing And Mimi. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, hair that gleams and glistens from a luster cream shampoo, hair bright, washed right, easy to do and dress right, hair that's soft and silky from a luster cream shampoo.
Yes, Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair with new 3-way loveliness, fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen, soft and easy to manage. Be a dream girl, a lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
With Charles Dant in the orchestra, Dennis returns to our microphone to sing And Mimi.
On the Rue de la Paix, there was once a cabaret, and Mimi. As the night went along, there was suddenly a song, and Mimi. The world seemed to say that they love the cabaret and Mimi. But I knew that when she'd see me, Mimi sang for me all along. Fame and a passion with a passion for dancing with the one that I adore. Taught her the dance in his passion, and for me she's singing no more. On the Rue de la Paix, there was once a cabaret, and Mimi. Now I'm sitting sad and dreamy, for Mimi and her song. Fame and a passion with a passion for dancing with the one that I adore. Taught her the dance in his passion, and for me she's singing no more. There was once a cabaret and me. Now sad and dreamy, just for Mimi and her
Remember, doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. And this beauty plan with Palmolive soap was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, 36 doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan improves all types of skin. Brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Voice of America presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
This is Ronald Coleman.
And Benita Coleman.
Inviting you to join us again on the campus of Ivy College. Now, the Halls of Ivy. Halls of Ivy that surround us here today. And we will not forget.
Welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. Running a college is a serious responsibility, entailing as it does the care and mental feeding of some hundreds of future citizens. It's therefore a happy and therapeutic event when a president, in this case Dr. William Todhunter Hall, Ivy's head man, can come home to his lovely wife, in this case Victoria Hall, smiling and happy over an amusing incident. As he says,
of course, it may be that the cares of my office and the familiarity with the usual daily routine make odd or amusing incidents seem odder and more amusing than they really are. But this one, I think I can stand the acid test of repetition.
Well, come on. Don't you stand giggling to yourself. What's it about?
Newts.
Newts? You mean hickory newts, wall newts, and cocoa-newts?
No. I'm not talking about nuts. I said newts.
Oh.
A newt is a batrachian, akin to the lizard and the salamander, found along the banks of streams.
Well, you'll excuse me if I don't care to meet any. With me, no newt is good newt.
Well, I admit they are not to be listed among nature's beauties, but for biologists, they hold a tremendous attraction because of their peculiar ability to recreate and regenerate lost parts of themselves, legs, tails, and so on.
Why, the clever little things. Well, what happened about them that amused you so much?
Well, I met a student. A young Charles Goldring. Yes. Well, the last time I saw him, he was barely scraping by financially. Rather threadbare, always hungry, working long hours to pay his way. Now, he is resplendent in new clothes, a chartreuse convertible, and the big man on campus. He is a biology student. He collects newts.
Well, for goodness sake, come on, get to the plot.
Oh, it's a simple one, Vicky. Rags to riches. Well, it seems that he assumed that other science students might be interested in his collection. So he photographed them in color. Bought 5 minutes airtime on XYVY and offered copies of the photographs for sale. As I remember it, the sales talk was something like, special this week, newt photos in full color. He said it was a must for biology students.
Naturally, yes.
Well, young Goldring said he couldn't print them fast enough. He was amazed that so many students were students of biology. It just goes to prove, as John Haldane claimed, that science is vastly more stimulating to the imagination than are the classics.
Yes. Well, speaking of classics, Louisa is cooking you a surprise dessert for dinner.
Oh, something with a pronounced flavor of vanilla?
I think so. How did you guess?
Oh, my darling, that was no guess. All her desserts are flavored with vanilla. I think I shall send her an anonymous letter containing the facts of life about chocolate, maple, and cherry.
It's ominously quiet out in the kitchen, even for making dessert. I wonder, is it later than you think or earlier than I think?
Oh, I don't know, dear. I forgot to wind my watch last night, and I set it by dead reckoning this morning. I woke up, reckoning I was dead, and set the hand.
It must be nearly 4. Turn on the radio, Toddy. The campus station will give us the time.
All right. You know, we really should listen to our station more often.
Yes.
After all, it's the voice of Ivy, and we... That's a lovely voice. I wonder who she is.
That's a Schubert song, the Forelli, the Trout.
I wonder if it's a record.
Yeah.
A very mature voice. Fine music. Really lovely.
You have just heard a group of Schubert songs sung by Miss Marion Coulter, a major in the Ivy Department of Music. Miss Coulter was accompanied at the piano by Ray Turner, also of the music department.
Talent, huh?
Listen again next week at the same time when we present another in our series of afternoon concerts. It is exactly 4 o'clock by the library tower.
4 o'clock. There we are. Now we can synchronize the vanilla dessert with the library tower.
And now, Station XIVY takes pleasure in presenting Professor Heelslip, head of the Department of English at Ivy College.
Oh, no!
Professor Heelslip's subject for this afternoon is hunting for humor in the sonnets of Shakespeare. Professor Heelslip is well known for his...
Hunting for humor in the... Now, really?
Well, Professor Heaslip goes after jokes like some men go after big game. He must have a room filled with trophies of the chase. Poor, stuffed and mounted little witticisms staring down from the walls with glassy eyes and moth-eaten pelts.
Yes, with little brass labels on all of them saying, "This point was killed by Marvin Heaslip."
Yes. But he means well.
Oh,
even
lucky you. Now, Louise, I'll have to answer the door and maybe spoil your nice vanilla dessert.
Won't I be ashamed if it turns out to be a vanilla dessert that I like? It really doesn't...
Mrs. Hall?
Professor Zeller, come in.
Professor Zeller, how nice to see you.
Thank you. I hope I'm not disturbing you, Dr. Hall.
Oh, not at all. I sometimes regret that the music department functions so well. Such harmony deprives me of the chance to see you more often, Professor Zeller.
Yeah, but don't wait for discords to come and see us.
I won't. As a matter of fact, the reason I dropped by is that the department has just received a new recording of a Bartok string quartet, which I thought that you'd want to hear, Mrs. Hall. I've also brought along the score.
Oh, good. I like to follow the score when I listen to something new.
Well, you're not alone in that, Mrs. Hall. Any important musical contribution must say new things in the language of our time.
Yes, the old saying that familiarity breeds contempt is but a half-truth. It arises only when the object under study, whether an individual or a musical composition, reveals itself as empty and pretentious, and thus does breed contempt.
And when that kind of contempt is bred, it's awfully hard to get rid of the puppies.
Yes, but obviously, when the object turns out to have merit, then familiarity brings the rewards of a new and enriching experience. When, for instance, a new musical score is presented, if it is in too popular a vein, public familiarity may kill it with enthusiasm. If it is too esoteric, regardless of quality, acceptance may be so slow as to discourage the composer and become public domain before it... Professor, if I should accompany this lecture with colored slides and a piccolo obbligato, do you think your music class could stay awake through it?
Dr. Hall, I was wondering if I could persuade you to give up your presidency and join the music department. I could use you.
Well, he probably faces the music oftener as president, Professor Zeller.
You know, my classically minded students consider me to be a partisan of modern music, as my modern-minded ones consider me an enthusiast of the classics. I am guilty on both counts.
Well, there are those who believe the three Bs, Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, took the last of the honey from the hive and left it to the sterile drones. Though, of course, when I was a boy studying piano, I always referred to the three M's.
The three M's?
Yes, dear, Mendelssohn, Mozart, and me.
Oh, really? By the way, Professor, we just had one of your music students on the Ivy station, and she has a lovely voice.
Yes. Her name was Marion Coulter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, Marion Coulter. Oh, she's such an excellent musician, Dr. Hall. It's a pity.
A pity?
Well, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, last week she told me she was giving up music at the end of this semester. I couldn't get her to tell me why. She's not returning to Ivy next term, and I confess I'm completely baffled.
Well, could it be some romantic trouble, do you think?
No, I don't think so.
A financial problem, perhaps?
Well, I know that she recently helped another student who needed money, so that doesn't sound logical.
What could it be?
Well, she was very gay and lively when she first came to us as a transfer student, but during the past year, she's become more and more quiet and subdued. She seems to have pulled back into some sort of a shell. Dr. Hall, I wish you'd try to talk to her.
Yes, let's invite her over and tell her how much we enjoyed her singing, huh?
Perhaps we should. After all, when I became dean of the college, wonderful old Dean Martin of the graduate school said to me, "William, one of the most difficult things you're going to have to learn in dealing with the students is to distinguish between idle curiosity and necessary inquiry. As an administrator, you must never use one as an excuse for the other."
Oh, did you say said that, Dean Martin?
Yes, dear.
Dean Martin of Martin and Louis?
No. No, my love. This was Everard Martin.
Oh, Everard.
Yes, he was dean of the graduate school. A humorist, perhaps, but not a comedian.
Of America is bringing you this presentation of The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. As we return to The Halls of Ivy, Dr. Hall is just arriving at his home at number 1 Faculty Road.
Vicky, where are you? Your breadwinner has returned.
Hello, breadwinner. Did you win a lot of bread today?
Ah, that's my love. That is a question which opens the oven door on a lot of half-baked puns. Such as kneading the dough, too much crust, and so forth. And, of course, the faded placard to be seen in a million sandwich shops. As you wander on through life, brother, whatever be your goal, keep your eye upon the donut.
And not upon the hole.
I commend you, my love, on your familiarity with the classics.
Well, thank you, Todd. Oh, you're wearing a poppy.
Yes, Poppy Day, my darling. I bought this from the American Legion, and here is one for you, purchased just to be non-partisan from the veterans of foreign wars. Here you are, my dear, with love, a Poppy. From Poppy to Mommy.
Well, thank you, Poppy. How was the board meeting?
As usual. Clarence Wellman was in one of his large economy-sized moods. Hendricks was affable and full of charming, idiotic non-sequiturs. Wilson found the water cooler lacking in cups and spent the full time trying to fashion one out of a sheet of letter paper. Result, a wet necktie and an unsatisfied thirst. And a motion, seconded but defeated, that future stationery orders be made contingent on the waterproof quality of the paper. Mr. Merriweather was absent.
Well, that takes care of the fun and frolic. How about the business? Did the chemistry department get its new lab?
Yes, but the moot point, as always, was the sum to be spent. Mr. Wellman seems to labor under the delusion that fully equipped chemistry laboratories can be readily acquired at Ladies' Aid rummage sales, police auctions, or 10-cent stores.
Must have been quite a jam session.
No, not with Clarence, no. He follows the Red Queen's famous rule. Jam tomorrow and jam yesterday, but never jam today. And music reminds me. Did Marion Coulter call?
Yes, she did. She got your message, and I asked her to drop by here at 5 o'clock. Have you found out anything more about her?
Yes, and it all fits into the same baffling picture. She moved out of the dorm at the beginning of this semester and took a room by herself in one of the approved private houses. Mr. Everts, her faculty advisor, reports the same unexplained general retreat from...
Now, that must be Marion. Louise, I'll get it.
Vicky, if the girl isn't disposed to talk, I'm not going to impose upon her. After all, I must respect a person's... Oh, Mr. Merriweather. Welcome home. Come in.
Well, hello, Bill.
Hello, Mr. Merriweather. How nice to see you.
Ma'am, if all your pupils are as glad to see you and your husband as mine are, you have a happy little college.
Well, sit down, Charles, and give an account of yourself. You were AWOL for our faculty follies last week. We needed you.
You heard about our follies, didn't you, Mr. Merriweather?
Yes, I did, ma'am, but I'd have been no help at all. No talent, Charlie, that's me. When I was 10 years old, I could lay a fork against a spoon and flip the spoon into a water tumbler. But it never seemed to get me anywhere socially.
I hope that wherever your trip took you, you were compensated for what you missed.
Well, I wouldn't call it compensation, Bill. More like computation. I was settling a little income tax matter in Washington, D.C., and just got back. I didn't get much back. But these days, anything is something.
Well, they're used to complaints, Mr. Merriweather. The seat of any government is the place to register the kicks.
But the best part of Washington, D.C. is that you don't get shot in the morning for kidding about it. It's our own front yard. And if it gets full of weeds, who owns the lawnmower? We do. And if you're the kind of sentimental peasant that I am, you get a little misty-eyed at the flag over the Capitol Dome, and you get pretty choked up at the Lincoln Memorial, and a lump in your throat at the tomb of the unknown soldier. That's when you begin to realize that in Washington there may be things that are hard to swallow, but it's when you find it hard to swallow that you know it's a great country.
In next year's Faculty Follies, there will be top billing for Merriweather and his marvelous monologues.
Well, with that, I will make my exit as quickly and gracefully as possible while I still... now, how's that for timing? 1 in, 1 out.
I'm sorry I have an appointment, Charles. I would enjoy hearing more of your impressions of Washington.
More? Bill, you're a glutton.
Oh, come right in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello. You're Marion Coulter, aren't you?
Yes.
My wife, Mrs. Hall, and this is Mr. Charles Merriweather.
How do you do? I'm sorry if I interrupted.
Young lady, I don't think anybody else is sorry. Well, goodbye, all. Glad to have met you, Miss Coulter.
Goodbye,
Mr.
Charles.
Merriweather. Yes. Now, please sit down, Marion, won't you?
Thank you.
And thank you for responding so quickly to my note.
Oh, it was a very nice note, Dr. Hall. I hoped my broadcast would bring at least one fan letter. But I certainly didn't expect one from the president.
Well, you deserved it.
And having met your voice, Dr. Hall and I decided we wanted to meet you, too. Have you been studying long, Marion?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Hall. I decided I wanted to be a singer a long time before my voice was ready for it. It's been my whole life.
Professor Zeller has told us that you were thinking of leaving the department. And Ivy. We're very sorry to hear it.
Mrs. Hall, it...
You needn't tell us unless you wish to, Marion. But Mrs. Hall and I would like to help you if we can.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, if you don't, then don't.
But I want to. I want to talk to somebody. Mrs. Hall, since last Christmas, I've been wearing a hearing aid.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Well, it's pretty well concealed under my hairdo. But I know it's there, even if other people don't see it.
How hard these things die. Remember the resistance to eyeglasses? Now they have become a kind of costume jewelry.
Yes, getting so that it almost seems indecent not to wear them. I mean, going around with bare eyelids.
And when you give someone something to read and they say, just a moment till I put on my glasses, why, you think nothing of it. Isn't that true?
Well, yes.
But then why shouldn't one be able to say just as easily, just a moment while I turn up my hearing aid?
One should, of course. You're perfectly right. But I'm a singer. So how can I think of going on in music when I'll never be sure just what I'm singing?
But you're a musician, Marion. And you should know the history of a man who, although unable to hear his greatest works, fulfilled his obligations as a creative artist until the moment of his death.
Yes, Beethoven. But I'm not a composer.
Yeah, but if you feel insecure on the concert stage, there are many other things you can do.
But what, Mrs. Hall? What can I do?
Let me answer the question with a question. Why do you sing on the radio?
Well, I guess because loving music, I want other people to enjoy it, too. I want to share it with them.
Marion, you've just expressed the sense of communication of a born teacher. To know something and to wish to share that knowledge.
So why leave music? Stay with it and teach it.
Well, I suppose that's the thing for me to do. After all, as someone said, those who can do. Those who cannot teach.
Oh, that's a statement I find both inaccurate and flippant. Teaching is an art, a gift. Have you ever tried to explain a difficult idea to a group of very different human beings, people who want very much to understand you and whose understanding you must reach?
No, I haven't.
Well, you tried one way, no response, a row of blank faces. Then you come at the idea from a different direction. There's a quickening of interest, but you know you're not there yet. The third or fourth or fifth time, you hit on something which is a link between what they already know and what you are trying to tell them. Then the eyes suddenly light up. They smile and nod at each other, or sometimes they frown and challenge you angrily. But you have touched them. You've broken through, communicated. Then you are Lieutenant Rosen, delivering the message to Garcia. You have reached Nome with the serum. You're Lindbergh, landing in Paris.
And Tallulah with a big curtain line.
Oh, you make it sound really exciting.
Believe me, Marion, teaching is one of the most important and dramatic of careers. As Henry Adams once said, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops.
That's a wonderful concept. And I'm very grateful to you both. You've given me a great deal to think about. I already know one thing. I'm not leaving Ivy.
Well, good.
It is really up to me now, isn't it?
Yes. Sound is merely a matter of receiving vibrations, Marion.
And when you start responding to the vibrations of a student audience, you'll be hearing some wonderfully satisfying music.
And you'll still see your name in lights, shining from the eyes of 1,000 grateful youngsters. Life will acquire a new flavor. A flavor that... Victoria, is Louisa cooking up... that fragrance, is it...
Yes, dear, it's vanilla.
This production of the Halls of Ivy was broadcast with an actual audience present in the studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to the Fred Allen Show. If within the next 30 minutes you, any listener in the continental United States, answer a telephone call from any giveaway radio program, and because you are listening to this show, you miss an opportunity to win any gift then being offered, Fred Allen guarantees to make good by furnishing an equivalent gift or its value up to $5,000.
National Surety Corporation guarantees that Fred Allen will perform his agreement up to a total of $50,000. Notice of any claim under these guarantees must be mailed to Mr. Fred Allen by registered mail, care of the National Broadcasting Company, Radio City, New York, and postmarked not later than midnight, November 8th, 1948.
Relax. Enjoy the Fred Allen Show. The Ford Dealers of America present the Fred Allen Show. The Fred Allen Show with Fred's guest, Arthur Treacher, Portland Hoffa, Minerva Pius, Pete O'Donnell, Parker Penley, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And this is Kenny Delmar speaking for your Ford dealer. Well, they've counted the votes from every last precinct, and I can now announce the winner. It's the same the whole land over. In the new car field, Mr. and Mrs. Public overwhelmingly prefer the new Ford. And why not? With its new low look and marvelous midget ride, hydrocoil and Paraflex springs, and magic action brakes, the 49 Ford is unquestionably, indubitably the car of the year. Your Ford dealer invites you to meet the winner tomorrow. Well, it's Sunday night again, and as is his weekly custom, Fred Allen has a date at the corner of Main Street. Tonight, as Fred steps out of his new Ford, he hears a voice say,
Mr. Allen!
Hey, Portland, gee whiz. Say, I'm a little late, Portland. Have you been waiting long?
Oh, no. I was in that French cafe across the street.
French cafe?
Les Naseaux d'Anguille.
Les Naseaux d'Anguille? What is that in English?
The nostril of the eel.
The nostril. You know, all those French cafes have crazy names like that. There's one down in Greenwich Village called Coup de Cochon.
What is that?
The swine sinus. It's a French cafe. The fellow who runs it doesn't know what it means. He bought it from a fellow without an interpreter, and he stuck it. But French cafes are always so dark, Portland.
That's right. French chefs use so much garlic.
In the dark?
You can locate the food.
Oh, I often wondered why that was. The place you just ate in over there looks awfully small.
It is. The tops on the lamb chops are knickers.
Oh, they are really? They split the peas 60-20, do they? Say, I know a French restaurant. The ceiling is so low they serve the frog's legs squatting. Say, what's that crowd over there across the street?
Well, that new picture just opened, Snake Pit.
Well, how do you know it's Snake Pit?
The line outside is coiling around the theater.
Say, Portland, I just remembered. You know what? I forgot to get the paper tonight.
Let's take a walk down Main Street.
Well, let's get going.
What does the paper say?
Hey, here's an item. Medical Economics, National Physicians Business Magazine, says that there is only one doctor for each 1,082 persons in the United States.
I wonder if people are worried.
Well, let's ask some people now as we walk along Main Street. Hey, this man coming with the Leghorn briefcase. Pardon me, sir.
Claghorn, say Claghorn's the name, son. Tell him the Claghorn that is.
Well, Senator.
Well, here I go again. I've been laughing since last Tuesday.
laughing at what, Senator?
The election.
Yeah,
son, that's the biggest upset this country has seen since the Normandy tipped over. Maine is seceding from the Union. The Republicans are giving their bandwagon back to Fitch. This is one thing the elephant will never forget.
Tell me, what about Dr. Gallup and Mr. Roper with their polls?
Well, this is the first time in the history of statistics that the polls have gone to the dogs.
Senator, do you think that, our confidence is off the record, do you think the president had a hunch he would be reelected?
Oh, Harry wasn't worried, son. He knew he'd be living in Washington 4 more years.
How do you know?
2 days before the election, I seen a piano tuner going into the White House.
Well, tell me, Senator, how do you account for the president's reelection?
Moving pictures done it, son.
Moving pictures?
People are so crazy about double features.
You mean the president's first term?
People want to see everything twice.
I hate to change the subject, Senator, but a Physicians magazine says that in this country today, there's only one doctor for each 1,082 persons.
Well, the country don't have to worry about doctors for the next 4 years, son.
No?
The Democrats are the best doctors.
Doctors?
Them Democrats made the Republicans take their medicine. So long, son. So long.
It sure is a swell night to walk down Main Street, Portland.
Look at this picture in the barber shop.
2 men wearing toupees.
It says, which twin has the phony?
Hey, look who just turned the corner.
Titus Moody.
Hi, Mr. Moody.
Howdy, Bob.
You're out, aren't you out late, Mr. Moody?
Yes, I am. I had to go to a Alf Landon testimonial dinner.
A big do, was it?
Oh, they had some fella speaking. He was a Republican.
A Republican, eh?
He was appearing incognito. His talk was, America, is it utopia?
Well, do you think America is utopia?
Not while I'm paying $3 for overalls, I don't.
Well, tell me, Mr. Moody, what about this shortage of doctors?
Why, I don't know about human doctors, but vets is going crazy.
You mean veterinarians?
Cow doctors.
Cow doctors.
I had a cow that had an ulcer.
And you called a vet to operate on the cow's ulcer, did you?
He drove up with his trailer clinic.
The vet was busy, I imagine.
On the floor, he had a horse laying down, waiting to get his tonsils out. 2 goats was leaning in the corner underneath her.
Yes.
And swinging in a hammock, he had a pig in traction.
Pig in traction, eh? That vet must have been confused.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Did he operate?
He took the whole insides out of my cow.
Yeah?
And he put in the insides of a hen.
The vet put the insides of a hen in your cow? What happened?
Why, today, before the cow will give a drop of milk, she has to set on her nest. So long,
That Titus Moody is a character, Portland.
This little woman coming looks familiar.
Well, I should say so. Mrs. Nussbaum.
So who is paging me? Oh, it's you.
Yes. Out walking your dog, eh?
Yes, it is a Seltzer Spaniel.
You mean a water spaniel, don't you?
I'm buying it in the Bronx.
Oh, a Seltzer. Well, tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, about this shortage of doctors.
Who needs doctors?
But,
I'm taking out group hospitalizing.
Oh, group hospitalization?
Before they can take me to the hospital, a group is having to get sick.
I often wonder. Hey, it is good to be healthy, huh?
Good. It's also making trouble.
Trouble? How do you mean?
Well, my friend, Mrs. Bambi Rappaport, is crazy for health. To getting iron, she's eating spinach. Bambi is getting so much iron, her arm is looking like a niblick. And to making calcium, she's drinking milk. Well, she's drinking so much milk, In the mouth, she is now having 3 sets of teeth.
3 sets of teeth.
Then, to improving the eyesight, Bambi is eating carrots.
Is she eating too many carrots, too?
Like a cat, she can now seeing only at night.
Well, good. Eating all of these health foods, Bambi must be enjoying life.
Enjoying. Her husband is getting a divorce.
Why?
Bambi is too healthy.
Too healthy?
When her husband is telling Bambi to drop dead,
Uh-huh.
she couldn't do it. Thank you.
Well, you sure meet some confused people on Main Street, Portland.
You haven't found out much about the shortage of doctors, have you?
No, I haven't. Say, let's try this man coming along playing with the barbed wire yo-yo. Pardon me, sir.
Rejoice, brother. My name is Humphrey Titter.
Humphrey Titter?
I'm the Joy Boy. Stand back, brother. I'm letting go a bluebird. I just left the Republican headquarters. I yelled, rejoice, brothers.
What happened?
They threw me out.
See, I remember you, Titter. You write unusual greeting cards and jingles.
Yes, everybody waits for a special day to send out cards.
And you?
I send out greeting cards any day.
Any day.
Greetings, pal, and wishes good. I send you on this one day. I don't know when your birthday is, so I wish you a rousing Monday.
Very good, very good.
Rejoice, brother. Don't be like the man whose cat was run over by the steamroller, standing there with a long puss.
Look, Mr. Titter, what is the country going to do about the shortage of doctors?
I shall write a jingle. Take this down.
What's the title?
Your Doctor.
I have it. Your Doctor.
Your doctor is your best friend. His skillful diagnosis informs you promptly when you're sick, if it's virus or thrombosis. Your doctor quickly feels your pulse, arrives at his decision, and with his shiny scalpel, he soon makes a long incision. If you don't survive his surgery, your doctor never quakes. For his friend, the undertaker, always covers his mistake.
So long, Mr. Titter.
Rejoice, brother.
Come on, Portland, let's go.
Wait till I look in the music store.
Yeah, what is that bust? That fellow, the bust of that fellow in the window there.
It's Jack Eigen.
Oh, God.
And he picks the song of the week.
What is Jack's selection this week?
Al Goodman and his orchestra playing, and the 5 DeMarco sisters singing the Money Song.
Yeah, I wonder how that sounds, the Money Song.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. Them that have it, get more of it. Less they need it, more they love it. And it sticks to them like glue. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. As the rich man, he'll confess, money can't buy happiness. As the poor man, he don't doubt, but rather be miserable with them without. If you spend it, please be wiser. If you save it, you're a miser. You don't want it, you are cuckoo. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. It's a bad thing, oh yes, very full of germs, unsanitary. Will I have some cheese thanks? Funny, 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 funny. Funny, funny, funny. Funny, funny, funny. Funny, funny, funny. Funny what money, money, money can do.
Wait a minute, Portland, will you? Here's the Ford dealer's showroom. I think I'll stop in here for just a minute.
Hi there, Fred. Can you give me a hand with this job?
Say, what's going on, Mr. Dealer? That stepladder, that hammer, those nails?
My wife just finished embroidering a motto, and I want to hang it.
Let me see. Oh, it's that old motto, there's no place like home.
Yes,
huh?
Fred, my wife modernized it. This motto says, there's no place like home for Ford service.
What beautiful sentiment. Now, if you could only get another motto, you know, like, a man's best friend is his home. Let's let's drop in here at this bookshop, the choice ahead. Let's drop in and browse around.
Well, I have to meet Mama to help her pick out a new fur coat.
Oh, what kind of a fur coat is your mother getting?
Some man with a pushcart tried to sell her a Hudson seal, but Mama was too smart.
How do you mean, too smart?
Mama knows there aren't any seals in the Hudson.
Your mother really? Portland, don't let your mother get a squirrel coat. The squirrel coat will take your mother out in the park and bury her with the rest of the nuts there. Well, I'll see you later, Portland. You got to go. Good night.
Good night.
Say, this window is full of new books. Yeah, I'll go in and look around. I think I'll stop here at this mystery counter. I guess this gentleman is ahead of me.
I say, miss, do you have that new mystery, The Man with the Neon Nose?
Arthur Treacher. Arthur, what are you doing here at the mystery counter?
I'm buying mystery stories to take back to England. I'm going to do a crime program on television in London.
You're going to be on television in England?
Yes, it is quite possible. But at this very moment, you're gazing at the British Howdy Doody.
Have you found any... Have you found any good mystery stories here?
Well, there's some fascinating crimes in this anthology.
Oh, in the anthology, really?
No, anthology.
Anthology, is
Here's
it?
one.
I thought you dropped your H's over there. Anthology.
Here's one, Murder in the Aquarium.
Murder? What is that?
Well, a woman's body is found floating in a tank at the aquarium. There are no clues whatsoever.
No clues, eh?
An inkfish in the next tank writes out one word in the water.
And the word is?
Bundle.
Bundle, hey?
The police noticed a small hole in a bundle the woman was carrying.
Yes?
The police find that the woman's husband took a swordfish out of one of the tanks and stabbed his wife.
The husband stabbed his wife with a swordfish?
Right through the bundle.
Hey, this sounds pretty involved. How did the police solve the crime?
Luckily, the murderer confessed.
Oh, well, that saves the whole That is, that is some mystery.
This next one is fantastic. It's called The Fatal Hamburger.
The Fatal Hamburger? Arthur, mysteries like these will start television doing giveaway programs. Now, if you really want a ripping mystery, I happen to have a thriller.
Well, it's got to be good, Fred. I start next week.
Oh, in London?
Yes. My television program is called The Pips Piccadilly Mystery Playhouse.
The Pips Piccadilly Mystery Playhouse?
Yes. Pips Piccadilly is my sponsor.
Oh.
The program opens with 20 Piccadilly pickers peeking out of a brine barrel singing a rousing commercial.
Well, how does it go?
Piccadilly, Piccadilly, made by Pips. Smack your lips. Pips is Piccadilly, Pips is Piccadilly. Try some Pips on your fish and chips.
Arthur, my mystery will be great for the Pips Piccadilly Playhouse.
Well, what's your mystery like, Fred?
Well, the program opens with a lumbering fanfare.
The Pips Piccadilly Mystery Playhouse presents
another exciting adventure in the life of
Sam Shovel, Private Eye.
I am Sam Shovel, Private Eye. I've cracked a lot of tough cases, but the toughest case I ever cracked was the case of Sir Hubert Bottomley. One day I'm sitting in my office, dropping some murine in me private eye. I'm just squeezing out the dropper. Hearing a knock, I deduce that somebody's at the door. Well, I say, come in.
To-do.
Yeah, lady?
I'm looking for Sam Shovel, private optic.
I'm Sam Shovel.
I'm Lady Bottomley. My brother, Sir Hubert Bottomley, is missing.
Missing what?
He's missing himself.
Oh. Has you looked around in his coat?
I don't know. Sir Hubert's been here in America.
Yes?
Every month I've been sending him his allowance, 20 pounds.
20 pounds of what, lady?
Money.
Oh, money.
For 15 years I haven't heard from Sir Hubert, so I decided to come to America.
Yeah?
Mr. Shovel, you must find my brother?
Lady Bottomley, I'll find Sir Hubert Bottomley, or my name ain't Sam Shovel, Private Eye. Lady Bottomley told me her brother was a big game hunter. The last address she had of Sir Hubert turned out to be an old brownstone back of a Natick stand just off Madison Avenue. Lady Bottomley was trembling as I pulled the old-fashioned bell.
Yes?
Are you Sir Hubert Bottomley?
I'm Bellwether, Sir Hubert's butler. Whom have I the melancholy honor of addressing?
I'm Sam Shovel, Private Eye. Stand back, Bellwether. Me and Lady Bottomley's coming in.
Get your hands off my lapel. You're rumpling my dicky.
I say, Bellwether, will you announce to Sir Hubert that his sister, Lady Bottomley, is here?
I didn't like the looks of Bellwether. From the way he was talking, I couldn't tell if he was English or if he just had bad bridge work. I was just putting the magnifying glass on Bellwether when he said,
If you two damp intruders will excuse me, I shall slip along to the trophy room. I have to shampoo a moose head.
Not so fast, Bellwether. What's this trophy room?
Oh, my brother, Sir Hubert, is a big game hunter.
Oh, rather. On his last trip, the master bagged an enormous giraffe.
Oh, yeah? Where is the giraffe?
Well, the body is in the basement.
Yeah.
The neck goes through the second, third, and fourth floors. And the head is looking out of the penthouse window.
Sounds like a tall story, Bellwether.
Bellwether and gentlemen, if you don't mind, would you announce me to my brother, Sir Hubert?
Yeah, Lady Bottomley here thinks Sir Hubert's met with foul play.
Oh, preposterous. Obviously, eating meat has unhinged Lady Bottomley's reason. At this precise moment, Sir Hubert is in the game room playing chess with Lord Beaverball.
Bellwether, you heard Lady Bottomley. She wants to be announced.
As soon as Sir Hubert finishes his chess game, I shall announce Lady Bottomley. And now I must be off and shampoo that moose head, or Duz will have done it before I get there.
I say, Mr. Shovel, I'm terribly sorry to have troubled you. My brother seems to be quite all right.
I don't like it, Lady Bottomley.
Do you think there's something wrong?
I don't trust that Bellwether.
Oh, I say, what was that?
It wasn't me snapping me bubble gum.
That was a shot. Those were 5 shots, I know it.
And they were, you're very quick on the trigger counting them shots, Lady Bottomley. And they was coming through that keyhole.
And they were coming directly at us.
There's something suspicious going on here, Lady Bottomley, or my name ain't Sam Shovel, Private Eye. They was shots, all right. Me derby had a crease in it. Me badge had a dent in it. And me coat had 7 new buttonholes. There was only one way to find out who was shooting at us through that keyhole. I opened the game room door.
Sam Shovel.
Bellwether. What's the big idea, firing that shotgun through the keyhole?
Oh, I thought you'd get a bang out of it.
While Bellwether was amusing himself, I took a quick gander around the game room. Sitting at a table motionless, there was 2 men playing chess. I was just ready to pounce when I heard Lady Bottomley say...
Mr. Shovel.
Yeah?
One of those men playing chess is my brother, Sir Hubert Bottomley.
I'll soon check on that, Lady B. Hey, you with the half a pair of glasses.
I say, what's all the hugger-mugger? Can't you see we're playing chess? Bellwether.
I'm sorry, Lord Beaverboard. I told these 2 fruity intruders that I would announce them when you were finished.
Sir Hubert. Oh, Sir Hubert, you recall your sister, Lady Esther? Sir Hubert!
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong, Lady
Sir
Bottom?
Hubert, he's dead!
Dead?
By Jove, that explains it.
Explains what?
Well, our chess game, Sir Hubert hasn't made a move in ages. He's just been sitting there holding his bishop.
Heart failure, do you think?
Possibly was bored to death. I'm dull company, you know.
No, yes, his boss wrong.
What?
Sir Hubert's got a hole in his head. Look. This dimple has no bottom to it.
You're right. It's a bullet hole.
This is moida.
Moida?
Moida. Nobody's leaving this room. Come clean now, somebody. Who shot Sir Hubert?
Well, none of us could have done it, old boy. We were all here in the room together.
Hey, that's right.
Shovel, there must be somebody else in the house.
I can take a hint, Lady Bottomley. Come on, Bellwether. I'm finding that somebody else, or my name ain't Sam Shovel, Private Eye. Bellwether and me started searching the room. There was 2 closets. I says to Bellwether, Bellwether, open the first door.
Very well, sir.
Gad! An elephant in the closet.
Sir Hubert bagged it in India. Shot the blighter right out from under Cebu.
Say, there's mohair sticking out of the elephant's trunk. And what's this label on the trunk? Taxidermy by Aubrey Tuttle. Who's Aubrey Tuttle?
Aubrey Tuttle was Sir Hubert's favorite taxidermist.
What's in this next closet? I'll open the door. Jeepers, 4 dead bodies. There's something here that ain't kosher, Bellwether. I'm taking another gander at Sir Hubert's body.
Mr. Shovel, what's this Sir Hubert is sitting on?
Oh, it's a newspaper. Sir Hubert is only 4 feet 8 inches tall. He has to sit on the Sunday Times to look over the chess table.
Yes, but the date on this paper, November 7th, 1933.
This paper's 15 years old. Sir Hubert has been dead for 15 years.
I say, this is going to be a blow to our club, you know. We elected him president 2 years ago.
It's incredible. Sir Hubert dead 15 years? Why, he looks the same today as he did 15 years ago.
Identically the same.
Sir Hubert is the same as he was 15 years ago, Lady Bottomley.
What?
Look at this hole in his head. What do you see sticking out?
Mohair.
Mohair is right. Sir Hubert has been stuffed.
Stuffed?
Look here on his neck. One of them labels that was on the elephant. Taxidermy by Aubrey Tuttle.
You mean the taxidermist actually murdered my brother, Sir Hubert, and then stuffed him?
Yeah, Lady Bottomley.
Extraordinary. Who was the taxidermist?
You, Bellwether.
But I'm the butler. My name is Bellwether. Hercules T. Bellwether.
Oh, yeah? That signet ring on your thumb there. The initials is A.T.
A.T.? Oh, that's an abbreviation for athlete. Rule Britannia.
Stop the music! The jig is up, Aubrey Tuttle. You might as well confess. It'll make me very happy.
Oh, but happiness is so middle class.
Regardless.
I do wish you'd confess, Bellwether. I'm famished for a cup of tea.
Very well, Lady Bottomley. I am Aubrey Tuttle.
I knew it.
I killed Sir Hubert.
Oh, you bounder.
But why? But why, Mr. Tuttle?
Well, 15 years ago, Sir Hubert returned from Africa with a boatload of big game. I was his taxidermist.
And you stuffed the animals?
I put everything I had into them. When I finished, my bill was £2,000. Sir Hubert refused to pay me.
You was penniless, eh?
I had to have money. I knew Sir Hubert was getting £20 a month from his sister in England, so I decided to murder Sir Hubert, pose as his butler, and collect the money he owed me.
What became of Bellwether, the real butler?
Well, he's in the closet with the rest of the staff.
You mean them stuffed stiffs of the staff? Why did you kill them and stuff them, Bellwether?
I had some mohair left over.
Aubrey Tuttle, you are a fiend, definitely.
By Jove, my opponent dead for 15 years. It's so difficult to tell in chess.
Say, where are you going, Tuttle?
I think I shall step out for a bit of swan-upping.
Come back here, you.
Unhand me, you succulent mendicant.
Right in the peeper.
A bit of a shiner.
Okay, Tuttle. You're coming with me,
Or what?
Or my name ain't Sam Shovel, Private Black Eye. As we take a final look around the Ford dealer showroom at the shiny new Fords, here's an invitation. Your Ford dealer wants to show you the 49 Ford. You owe it to yourself to see it. So come on over. With its new low look and midship ride, magic action brakes, and new springs, the 49 Ford is the car of the year. Next week, our guest will be Miss Helen Traubel. Thank you and good night.
Don't forget, next Sunday night, tune in Fred Allen and relax. The Fred Allen Guarantee and National Surety Corporation bond will be in effect for Fred Allen's program next Sunday night.